belongings with you at all times. Any unattended baggage will be removed and may be destroyed by security services.
Good evening everybody, hello and welcome to the Train Sim World 5 Early Access Release Day live stream. We are going to be kicking off at 20:30 by the station clock. That's in about 9 minutes time. So please have your drinks and light refreshments ready. Streaming on both YouTube and TikTok tonight. If you're watching on TikTok, big hello to you. Starting in 9 minutes, Train Sim World 5 Early Access Release Day live stream.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap.
Good evening everybody, hello and welcome to the Release Day livestream, Early Access Release Day livestream for Train Sim World 5. We're going to have a blast up the West Coast Mainline, Pendolino, Class 350, 710, Bakerloo line, all that good stuff. Kicking off in around about 6 minutes. Hello to everyone watching on YouTube and TikTok tonight. Starting in 6 minutes, please have your drinks and light refreshments at the ready.
Passengers are reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations and on all train services. This includes e-cigarettes. This is a safety announcement. It is not permitted to cycle, skateboard or rollerblade within the station building.
Hello, can you hear me? I think we fixed it. Can you hear me in the chat? Let me know. If you can, we'll make a start. Hello everybody, how are we doing this evening? Welcome to Release Day Livestream, or oh, right, have we got... I think there's a problem with my USB cable. Can you all hear me now? I think we're back on. I'm not muting the mic. I think there's a problem with my my USB cable. Hopefully we're back in business. Most important stream of the year, and we keep getting it wrong. But I think we're there. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. Tell me someone can hear me. You can all fix me. Right. Okay. We're good. We're good. Right. Let's start again. I tell you what. We're gonna do this. We're gonna start again.
Personal belongings in you at all times. Any unattended baggage will be removed and may be destroyed by security services.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Train Sim World 5, the early access release day live stream. Take 2. If this does happen to be the first video or live stream you've seen by me, then my name is Richard, aka Dadrail, and I'm a mainline freight train driver and former passenger train driver based in the southeast of England. As always, guys, before we jump in, got to tell you that all the views and opinions in this video are solely my own, may not reflect those of any companies I may be employed by or associated with. Furthermore, Dovetail Games have given me the key for the route train traction game, everything completely free of charge, but they do have no editorial control over the content. All of the opinions are my own, and I'll be completely honest with you. So if I like something, I'll tell you. If I don't like something, I'll also tell you that. What you're not going to get here is kind of a lot of negative moaning. I tend to be quite positive about things, I will be honest, but there's quite a lot of people in the Train Sim World community. This is going to be really kind of contentious. There's a lot of people in the Train Sim World community who like to complain a lot, shall we say. So whilst I'm honest, I also like to try and look at the game as an experience and something that we can enjoy. So I'm not going to wrap things up in cotton wool if they're not completely right, but I'm not going to moan for the sake of moaning. You know, this is a game and we're here to enjoy it, and that's what we want to do. So we are streaming on TikTok as well tonight. So hello TikTok viewers and YouTube viewers, first time we're doing this, so we'll see how we go. Right, that is enough chit chat from me. We're going to jump into the game. We're going to go for a little drive. We can have a look around. We can kind of maybe try coupling some things up, try doing some funky stuff in free roam guard mode. You got me for the next couple of hours, so whatever you guys want to see, just chuck it down in the chat, and we'll just see where the evening takes us. So here we are in Train Sim World 5. Quick disclosure, we will only be focusing on the West Coast Mainline in this. We will not be doing Frankfurt Fulda. I'm going to do that in a separate live stream. That warrants its own stream. That is a fantastic route. Okay, right, let's put my ugly face on the screen. There we go. Yeah, Zero Gamer HQ, we will do guard mode. We'll have a little go on that. Hopefully the screen's going to come back up. We don't want to do a take 3. There we go. Right. Okay, to the trains. Choose a route. As I understand it, a few people on Steam are having issues with their content porting over. That is something Dovetail are aware of, and they're going to get fixed. If you are playing on console, you will not get your content. Your existing Train Sim World 4 content will not port over until the 17th of September, which is the official release date. Tech the Techno Dragon has subscribed. Hello and welcome. Yeah, so if you're playing on console, you will not get the rest of your content ported over until the 17th. If you're playing on Steam, there are some issues. I've been told to tell you to restart your computer, log in, log out. Hopefully, all stuff like that should fix it. But anyway, we are playing West Coast Mainline, South London, Euston to Milton Keynes. We're jumping to timetable mode. And you know what? I think we're just going to jump in a Pendolino and we're going to Milton Keynes down to London Euston. Nice early morning run. And then maybe we'll do a bit of guard mode in and just see where the evening takes us. Right, so you've got your 0, which is your 9-car variant. Your 1, which is your 12-car variant. We're saying early in the morning. Nice bob. So what should we do? Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston, 1 at Romeo 05 657. We'll keep it in September. We'll keep our dynamic weather turned on. Ted Reed, TikTok is Dad Rao official. Silent Past, are the 390 tones as fast as real life? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but we'll do some tones. We'll have a little go. Robots Games, I love the 390. It's honestly my favourite British train ever. Since we got the Bakerloo in Train Sim World 2, we only got the West Coast Mainline old version. Virtual Rail Driver, I haven't played with the 377 yet, so that's a pretty good call. We can absolutely have a little play with that one. Right, okay, get started. 1 Romeo 05, Manchester Piccadilly, 2 London Euston. Starting off here at Milton Keynes Central. If you need the game audio tweaked up or down, guys, as always, do let me know. Right, let's get this thing set up. First thing we're going to do is get our safety systems turned on. Unfortunately, there still isn't an option in game to have these turned on by default. I think we should have something in the menu where we can just have them on, or you should have the choice, in my opinion. But there we go. Normal. This is quite interesting, the brake control switch. So this would be used when the Pendolinos were being hauled by the Class 57s. I did try coupling the Pendolino to the Phoenix Rail 37, and it works. but the brakes don't work. But you can still drag it. It's pretty cool. So right, safety systems are in. Making sure we do the TPWS there. In the chair. Key on. And I say safety systems are on. You've also got to do the MCB for the AWS on this. Right, let's press all the buttons. Tilt not available. There we go. That's all cleared off. So I still need to do some reading up on the TASS, the Tilt Advisory Speed System. I'm not quite sure how it works and kind of what our interaction is with it. I think we kind of just leave it alone to do its thing. Right, doors on the right hand side. GSMR radio is set up, so unfortunately the GSMR radio is exactly the same it's been on all the other trains. We don't need to enter our head code or running number or anything. That's just automatically set up. I would absolutely love for it to have some functionality, but we've got what we've got on that. Still telling me I've got a safety system isolated, which is a little bit peculiar. I'll have to go and have a little look. And we're day running on our lights. So we are... Oh, we're stopping at... No, we're not stopping at Watford Junction. We're straight down to London Euston on this one. It's going to be a nice, fast blast. So what safety systems have I failed to put in there? On. They all look in the vertical position to me, unless it's TPWS there. So safety system light gone out? No, it hasn't. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. We'll play and see what happens. Oh, Ted, thank you very much. You are quiet. Does my volume need to go up a bit, guys, or can you hear me? Do let me know if I'm too quiet. Hey, Gareth, my friend, how you doing? Fingers crossed, no tea and biscuits. No promises, but I will do my best. Right. Into forward. Oh, there we go. The light's gone off now. We're all good. Is it going to move? Is it going to move? We are moving! We are off. I am going to jump into my options, settings, HUD and gameplay, and I'm just going to turn the objective marker off because it, quite frankly, gets in the way. There we go. Right, we are off. And the Pendolino almost looks like a lady of a train, is what I want to say. It looks elegant, it looks glamorous, it's kind of like, it's got a little, like, dare I say the word, cute face to it. Is that a weird thing to say about a train? But I think it's just a really nice train. I think it looks nice. I've always been a fan of the Pendolino. Rich, try and do the tones as fast as you can. That's about all we can do on that. You are quiet for me, could hardly hear you over the music earlier. The Pete W, is the mic okay now? I think that's an issue with the music. I need to tweak the volume level on the music. As long as you can hear me now, there'll be no more music. Gareth, looking very nice so far. Glad you're liking it. So there are a few things in the route. I have put a few videos out today talking about the route and train, and there's a few inaccuracies and a few things I've noticed on there. If we come across them, I'll point them out as we go along. But generally, I think this is a route that I'm going to get a lot of enjoyment out of. I think this is a route that, you know, it's got a lot of variety. We've got the Pendolino, your fast services, we've got the 350s, your stopping services, the DC line, or the Lioness line I should call it, Watford Junction DC with a 710, and we've got the Bakerloo line as well as your freight layers. So I think this is a route that I'm definitely going to get a lot of usage and a lot of gameplay out of. It's just that kind of variety. I would love it if it was to have gone further than Milton Keynes. I mean, all the way through to Birmingham would be fantastic. But you've kind of got to draw the line somewhere. You know, if you spend another year developing a route, do you then charge twice the price for it? You know, would people be willing to pay twice the price for it? So I suppose as a developer, there's sort of also a business and you've got to make a decision. And I know we're going to have people crying out, yeah, but we've got it in Train Sim Classic. But developing for Train Sim Classic is a completely different ball game to developing for Train Sim World. Train Sim World is, you know, there's a lot more that goes into it in terms of the station modelling. You've got to, you know, you can get out and walk around, so you've got to model a lot more than what you've got to do in Train Sim Classic. The digital speedo doesn't work, Suggest. So the digital speedo that you're seeing there is actually a dynamic brake effort. So that's telling us how much dynamic brake we're using. It's not a speedo. So currently we're using 0 kilonewtons of brake force. If I put a little bit of brake in as we pass through Bletchley, we'll see the numbers start coming up as the dynamic brake kicks in. So yeah, that's not supposed to have any numbers on it. That is as is. Scottish, can you turn your mic up or change the balance? Yes, absolutely. How is that now, guys? That's probably a little bit too loud. Give that one a go. I've had a few microphone problems, as you know. Hopefully you can hear that now. Monster Security, Paul Brett on TikTok. Sounds a good route. Nice one. Daniel Dunno, I see it still jumps and stutters. I'm getting 45, you can see my FPS on the bottom right of the screen, so I'm getting about 45, 50 FPS at the moment. I am streaming on 2 platforms from the computer I'm playing from as well, so it is a little bit more demanding than maybe if I was just playing the game on its own. But the performance isn't too bad, I don't think. Right, so as we're approaching 125 on our speed, what I'm going to do is press the cheat button. So, speed set on. And then we can leave it alone and we haven't got to do anything. And look at the tilt action. We've had tilting in game for a little while because we had the the German route that I can't pronounce, which had tilting on it. So tilting is not a new thing in game, but and the tilting does work properly. So if we isolate the tilt there, you'll see the train kind of return back to a central position, and we put the tilt back in, you'll see it starts leaning over again. So the tilt and the isolator is fully functional on there. Tea and biscuits, no locomotive location livery tonight. This is going to be just about the trains tonight. Normal streams with locomotive location livery will resume very soon. David Donnell, we are on an RTX 30 or GTX 3090 and a Pentium i9. But to be perfectly honest with you, I could probably do with formatting my computer and starting again, because I've had it 5 years and it hasn't had a format yet. You could probably do with a bit of a clean up. Dave, oh Dave, you're very quiet. Dave, better. Okay, I think we're getting there. 66 coming the other way. Let's see what the lighting's like in the tunnel. Hey Timsy, welcome to Deborah, new subscriber. Great to have you here. Come on City, is there Warrington Bank Quay? No, this is just Milton Keynes to London Euston, so unfortunately not. We are getting a northern section of the West Coast Mainline, so we are getting Preston to Carlisle. Not that that covers the section you're asking about, but we are getting Preston to Carlisle, but that's going to be based in the 1980s. On that, the Just Trains route, when that comes out, the electrics, I think there's an 86 coming out of it. That's going to be great for a heritage rail tour on the West Coast Mainline South as well. It's definitely going to be something we can use. NGX bell buzzer. Let's give that a go. We do have a bell buzzer. Currently, as it stands, there is no conductor mode on the Pendolino, but I believe that is something that they're going to be looking to add. Sorry, Ludwig Tales 87, not 86. Stu, are you on the slow lines? No, we're on the up fast at the moment. Slow lines over to our left. Ludwig Tales, hi Deborah, it's nice to meet you at Brighton. Oh, good to see you too, my friend. Hopefully you got some good footage as we pulled out on the 37 earlier on. Michael Davis, just starting my journey to become a driver on Mod 2. It's a bit intense, all the rules you need to learn. Yeah, there's a lot to it, Michael, but what I would say, there's nothing that's rocket science. There's a lot to know, but there's nothing that's massively complicated. So stick in there, you'll be absolutely fine, and congratulations on landing the job and all the best with it. Chris, DOO Pendolino, oh dear. Yeah, DOO in game, it's something I've spoken about lots of times. I wish we had some sort of dispatch mechanism in game. You know, on trains that don't run DOO, I wish we had sort of a proper guards bus. I know we've sort of got it on the 158 and stuff, but you still got to manually close the doors. And on the trains that are DOO, it'd be nice to have sort of working monitors and bits and bobs. So what we will do when we go up on the 350 or whatever we decide to do, we'll have a little bit of more of a look at the scenery. We'll have a little bit of a look at the stations and that sort of thing. Tripping over my words today, I'm all over the place. Hey, driven 90 miles in a 390, fantastic. I've been up and down a couple of times now. Do need to do some route learning on this route though. Michael Davis, it's the contradictory rules and nuances I'm struggling with. Prime example being a white diamond on absolute block, meaning total opposite to any other situation. Yeah, the white diamond on the absolute block, meaning your train is, you know, you've got track circuits to signal us aware of the presence of your train, and then you've got the white diamond with the cross, which means don't use the signal post telephone unless it's an absolute emergency. So yeah, I sort of understand what you're saying there. Hey SJA, good evening, how are you doing? A train spot from Berkshire, your first reduction in speed will be at Watford, where the line speed drops to 110. Thank you very much, good to know. 16 miles till we get there. Ollie, do a tone please. Get some tones from in the cab as well. Hey, welcome Brassman2468. Deborah, a new subscriber. Great to have you here. Martha, my daddy's watching on YouTube. Debbie, where's Mummy Rail? I've kicked her out, Debbie. Give her a ring. I'm sure she could do with some company. Right, so some of the other features. Oh, that's weird. My TPWS isn't isolated because I put it in. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. We'll just get through the station and then we'll have a little look. See if we get a flyby shot on the station, but I can't race the train. Yeah, the free cam's not quite fast enough. So, jumping into the screen here, we haven't got a great deal of functionality, but you hear the vigilance alarm going off there. Whilst you are in this screen looking at this, you can't interact with any of the other controls. So you can't acknowledge vigilance alarms, AWSs, you can't take power, put brakes on. Your keys are completely locked out. I don't like that. I still want to be able to... I like the fact we can view the screen straight on now. I think especially with the 350, that's very useful. But I still want to be able to interact with the controls. I don't like the fact we can't interact with the controls. It's really annoying to have to come out that screen to acknowledge a vigilance alarm or something going off. The PW, the rail looks nice, decent. It's not popping in and out. So one of the things they have modified is that horrible, awful track shadow that we used to get in front of the train. So that is now gone, and I do agree, it does look a lot better. We've still kind of got this weird shadowy thing that happens on the trees that I'm not a fan of. But I think overall, just, you know, it is going in the right direction. The Pi train, I'm working on a GSMR mod. You can try it when it's done. Nice one, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'll definitely be up for that. I'll look out for that. Rick Ashtray, what are the main differences between Train Sim World 5 and Train Sim World 4? So there's some new features been added to Train Sim World 5. So we've got Conductor mode, which has been added. We've got, again, this is a really, really simple thing. Loving the tilting as we come around the corner there. It's a really simple thing. On the map here, we've now got labels. I mean, that should have been a core feature, shouldn't it? You know, it's not really a new game feature. That should have been core. to be completely honest with you. We've got the ability to route hop now. We'll have a little look at that later. And basically what that means is if we're at Brighton Station on the East Coastway route, we can press a button and suddenly we're at Brighton Station on the London commuter route. So there's a few places where you can hop between routes. I don't know if you can do it at Queen's Park or any of the Bakerloo line stations onto the Bakerloo line. I've not tried that on here. We can give that a go. That's one of the new features. You've also got fast travel, so if you're in free roam mode, you can sort of click on a location on the map and it will take you straight there, which is quite useful. So, in my opinion, they're not game-changing features, but at the end of the day, Train Sim World 5 has come to us as a free update rather than a paid update. Just to be completely clear, if you want the Pendolino, the West Coast Mainline and all the other trains, you are going to have to pay for it. But the actual core update to the game to get those core update features is completely free. They're not charging you for that. So, which I think is pretty good, because I think the core update features are good and they are things we want, but I don't think they justify putting a price tag on them. So I think the way they've gone about doing this by offering Train Sim World 5 as a free upgrade and then charging for the DLC, I think that is the right model to go down, and it seems to have been pretty well accepted by the community. Hey Ashley Smashley, hey, how we doing? Ludwig Tales, oh yeah, Deborah, a question about speedboards, and at least in the UK, when are you meant to increase speed? So you increase your speed once the rear of the train has passed the speedboard. Some trains and locomotives, such as Class 66, have got what's called a train length indicator, which you can use to alert you to when the back of the train has passed a fixed point. However, on most trains, it's going to be driver's route knowledge and guesswork. I mean, at 125 miles an hour, you know, or even 100 miles an hour, it doesn't take long for a train to pass a speedboard or a fixed point. Artie, I think Bakerloo map transport is coming in a future update. Craig Anderson, do you get the new NWR route with the update? So if you just get the Train Sim World 5 update, the core update to the game doesn't include any of the new routes. The new routes are paid DLC, like you would do with any DLC. You know, you've got to pay for it. But you can upgrade from Train Sim World 4 to Train Sim World 5 and get those core updates free of charge. So my game is actually running smoothly, guys, but I can see the stream is jumping. So but yeah, my game's running smoothly, so that's a little bit strange. So if you are experiencing a stream that looks really jumpy at the moment, I can only apologise, and I don't know what's causing it. Lee Thornton, Train Sim World 5 is a free upgrade. However, the routes, the route and trains you need to pay for. NGX, are you going to do the 323 farewell tour? I didn't even know 323s were going, if I'm being completely honest with you. Call sign Zonda, the 17th of September, which is the official release date. All your, if you're playing on console, all your existing content should port over. GJ, stream seems okay. Stream actually doesn't look bad. Okay, it's good to see. It's just on my Streamlabs screen, it looks a little bit jumpy, but hopefully that's... Okay. Right, okay, so we have, first of all, we're tea and biscuits with the manager. That was the 110 that I was being told about before that I completely failed to acknowledge. So the TASS speed system, which again I need to read up, has seen the fact that we didn't slow down and has slowed me down. So I should have come down to 110. So I know it's got something to do with slowing us down. I sort of wonder what that noise was going off then. Dan, you jinxed it. Yeah, Gareth, it's all your fault. Billy Dubs, if you're not buying the new routes, then the update will happen on the 17th. So the people that chose to buy the new routes or the deluxe edition of the game got early access to it, which was one of the perks. Ross, can you spad in this one? If you spad, it will automatically game over you. So the ability not to spad and not to crash the train, I think, is one of the licensing agreements that they've got, and sort of the agreements to use people's branding. People don't want their branded trains being smashed up even in game. It's not good for their image. So I think that's why we got the ability not to sort of spad. I know you can sort of derail and do funky things, but yeah. The Pie Train, professional drivers use TASS as autopilot. Yeah, not quite sure that's how it's supposed to work. Okay, coming through Watford Junction. I think Watford Junction looks pretty impressive. And it's 377 going the other way. Yeah, Watford Junction is definitely recognisable. Right, so we're 14 miles from London Euston. We're still good for 110. We're going back to 125. I'm going to keep an eye on my speed this time and not get too complacent. Do you have the Elizabeth Line Class 345s? So we've got Class... Dayan is asking. We've got Class 710s in game, but we haven't got... We're not quite at the 125 yet. We've got Class 710s in game, but we don't have the 345s. Are they 345s Elizabeth Line trains? I know. Yeah, I know the ones you mean. If I buy Train Sim World 4 on Xbox, will I get Train Sim World 5 for free? You absolutely will. But if you wait until the 17th when Train Sim World 5 is actually released, you can just download Train Sim World 5 for free. And then just buy the routes and add-ons that you want for it. Right, we're back up to 125. Patty, I don't know is the answer to that. I don't know. Amy, the Elizabeth Line is free for... Okay. Mr. Quicko, Dabro, is it just me or can you not use the camera on the free key properly? Seems to be okay, I think. I don't remember the free key doing that, but I sort of like that camera angle. I'm going to get intervened again by the TASS system. Let's get some brakes in. So on our right hand side we've got the Lioness line slash London Overground DC lines. So we should see some 710s, and once we get down to Harrow and Wilson we should start picking up some Bakerloo line stuff as well. Michael Locker, if you could pick one thing to change about Train Sim World 5 as a priority, what would it be? Really good question, Michael. Announcements. Quite simply, station announcements on train announcements. We've got the kind of generic ones on the stations. I think the announcements add so much to the game, and I think it's a real shame we haven't got them. Yeah, Risey W, sorry I'm saying your name wrong on TikTok there. Train Sim World is Train Sim World 4 is £7 on Xbox. If I buy that, I'll get 5 for free. You will get 5 for free once 5 releases. Harrow and Wilstone Bakerloo line train off on the right hand side. I've not done the Bakerloo line on here yet, so... Okay, that was weird. 2 AWS pings in short succession. Charbucks, is Brighton Mainline in Train Sim World 5 and does it look as good as the West Coast Mainline now? Yeah, so you can play it in Train Sim World 5, but it hasn't received any sort of upgrade, so it's exactly the same as it was in previous versions. The only routes that have got the upgrades are kind of the Train Sim World 5 routes. So they are, like Great Western Express is receiving a remaster. But yeah, the older Train Sim World 2, Train Sim World 3 routes are kind of just as they were. But they will work in game. They will work in game. Michael Locker, what would you say is the worst thing about Train Sim World 5? That's a really difficult one to answer, Michael, because Train Sim World 5 is really Train Sim World 4. It's Train Sim World 4.2 or 4.1. You know, the reason it's got the Train Sim World 5 branding, you know, they've kind of gone down the route of giving it the core game away for free. So, you know, they can wrap it up however they want to. So to sort of say what's the worst thing about it is really difficult because it's so similar to the other games. I mean, Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that really. There's nothing that's kind of, I would say, is absolutely terrible. I suppose the worst thing about this route is the fact we haven't got the London North Western Railway branding on it. That's pretty poor. But again, if you can't get the licence to use the branding, you can't get the licence. You know, I'm sure they've tried. So if you can't get the licence, do you just say, well, we're not going to make the train, or do you make the best of it? Right, so we are coming down towards Wembley. My frame rate absolutely gets tanked here. Wembley is fairly... I mean, in real life, Wembley is absolutely chock-a-block with rolling stock. But again, I think it comes down to performance, because with all that cantinery, OLE equipment, all the tracks, all the foliage, the buildings, my frame rate tanks a little bit. If you was to go and put 100 trains in there as well, it would... Oh, I've done it again! Alright, you guys win. I don't think the sound effects are working on that, which is really annoying. I've still got to fix that. Yeah, so my frame rate does tank around Wembley a little bit. But I guess there's always going to be kind of that balance between performance and making it look pretty. So one of the things to note on this route as well, if you are playing on an older generation console, so you're playing on the, I can't remember the names of the consoles or generations, but if you're playing on one of the older generation consoles, you're not going to get the 710 layers, and I don't think you get the Bakerloo line layers on here, or someone will correct me, but I'm pretty sure if you're playing one of the older consoles, some of the layers are not on here, basically because it can't handle it. Rick Ashtray, I shall definitely bring a new pack of biscuits next time I go to the office. And of course we've got the suspension physics on here working quite nicely, bouncing away. I'm definitely a fan of those. Nate, do an emergency stop. It'll probably happen on its own soon, Nate. Monster Security, Brighton Mainline is getting a new update. Oh, okay, I didn't know about that. That's if that is true, then oh yes, we definitely need that. We definitely need that. Charbucks, does the amount of train traffic change at different times of day in the game? Yeah, I believe it does, because you've kind of got the timetable. So we're driving in timetable mode now. The timetable is set throughout the day. So we're in. Is that clipping? That is extremely tight there. That is extremely tight. I'm speeding once again. I do drive trains in real life, I promise. I try not to speed though. And coming down towards Primrose Hill Tunnel, so we've got to get the speed down a little bit again. I was answering someone's question, but I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Dylan, worst thing is you have to buy the same game every year. Absolutely not, Dylan. Train Sim World 5 is a free update. You don't need to buy it. It's free to new and existing players, and all your old Train Sim World content will port over. So, yeah, I thought Dovetail had done quite a lot of publicity on that, but some of the comments I'm getting sort of are still along the lines of buying the new game and stuff like that. But yeah, no, absolutely, Train Sim World 5 is a free update. Core game is a free update. If you want the routes, you've got to pay for them, but the actual core game is a free update. Potato Man, yeah, I have played Conductor mode. There's a video on the channel I went out earlier on about Conductor mode. And we'll have a little go on. I tell you what, a few people are asking. I think we'll go for a little run on the... We're going to do Conductor mode. We'll do a couple of stations on Conductor mode. What else do people want to see? The 350, the Bakerloo line, the 710? I mean, we're not going to get a full service on all of them because we will be here till 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, let me know what... I mean, a few people said Conductor mode, so we'll do Conductor mode next. And we've got an A section, which means we're going all the way over to the left-hand side. So your line's coming into London Euston A, B, C, D, E, F. Amy, ICET, we are just sticking on the West Coast Mainline route, Amy. I'm going to do Frankfurt Fulda in a separate stream, going on to B line on that signal there. Michael says 377. Roblox says freight. Typical Nathan, how are we doing? Yeah, Monster Security on TikTok saying if you do go for the free so if you do not own Train Sim World 4, if you do not own Train Sim World 1, 2, 3 or 4, you're completely new to Train Sim World, and you choose to go for the you choose to get Train Sim World 5 for free, you will only get the training centre, which is like a test track and a couple of trains that you can drive around. It's great to get an introduction to the game and what it's all about and see if it's for you. But then if you want to expand on that, you'll need to buy the extra routes and trains as paid DLC. However, if you do want some paid DLC, I would wait until you get Steam sales on, because you can pick routes up sometimes for like 3 or 4 quid. But like I say, if you do already own Train Sim World 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, Train Sim World 5 is going to be a free update, and all your existing content is going to port over. But if you do want the Pendolino, the West Coast Mainline, or any of the other routes, Frankfurt Fulda or the San Bernardino, the American one, then that is paid DLC. Yeah, not too bad, typical Nathan. Not too bad, thanks for asking. Lots of people saying the 377. And going into 4, get it down to 25. Yeah, I'm undecided on the AI traffic, so if you have watched any of the videos I put out earlier, I did initially say there wasn't much AI traffic, and then I said further on there is a fair bit of AI traffic, and I'm a little bit on the fence as to, I mean, I suppose it comes down to performance, but I'm a little bit on the fence as to whether there is quite enough AI traffic. Yeah, Agent B7 San Bernardino. My eyes, I can't see it. Hey, Top Notch, how we doing? Typical Nathan, does 377 have guard mode? So I believe they run in real life DOO over this section, but when we load it up, we can certainly have a little look. I'm sure that was a 15 board at the beginning of the platform, but it's telling me I'm still allowed to do 25. I'm sure it's 15. Wookie 390, it's free for 30 days. So if you download it in the first 30 days, it is free, but it is yours to keep forever. So as long as you download it within that 30-day period, it is free. It doesn't expire after 30 days or anything like that. As long as you've downloaded it, it is yours to keep forever. And under 10 for the loops. We're going to have a little look around Euston while we're here as well. Yeah, trains from Berkshire, that's what I thought, 15 miles an hour board, but it's... Chris, going into a terminal platform, I mean, company driving policy, that the companies I've worked for has always been 15 miles an hour at the platform ramps. So I should imagine it does apply to both roads, but I don't know for sure. And we've got to bear in mind with the 390 here, we have got a little bit of a nose on it, so judging you're 6 foot from the buffer stops, without crashing into them. Right, so all stopped, full brake application, set the DRA, reverser to neutral, and doors on the right hand side. And this is what I mean, like GSMR has just decided to turn itself off, so that is still, like, it's as it's always been. It still needs a little bit of work going on. Cab of the 390s are actually quite cramped, which is interesting. Why that's doing its thing, let's go for a little walk through the train and have a little look at the interior. Yeah, I think that the textures on the interior do look sort of pretty basic, if I'm being honest. I'm not. I mean, you can sort of tell what it's supposed to be, but I don't think the interior looks as good as some of the other trains, perhaps. When I like sort of the way they've done all the lighting and stuff, it does look like a Pendolino. It looks like what it's supposed to be. And we do have working PIS. There is an issue with the PIS on this, though. It does look like a Pendolino, but I just... The interior doesn't blow me away. let's go back to the cab and get our doors closed. Where are we? And hopefully it's going to end the scenario. And somehow, despite all this speeding and the brake interventions, we still managed a platinum medal. Hey! It's good, it's good. We got a platinum medal. I haven't got Xbox. No, what's the game? We're playing Train Sim World 5 at the moment. Right, okay, let's press continue on that. Return to free roam. Let's go in the 8 camera because it's a little bit easier just to kind of move around rather than walking everywhere. So I think London Euston looks pretty decent. This is your problem on the PIS. Calling up Milton Keynes Central. That's going to Milton Keynes. Calling up Milton Keynes Central. I mean, that's a stopping service, to be fair. So all of the trains, all of their destinations. So when it comes up on the side, destination, they all say Milton Keynes. Even if they're going to routes that are, you know, if they're going to Liverpool, Manchester, Glasgow, or wherever, they all say Milton Keynes because that's as far as you can go in game. I know that's something they're aware of, and I know that's something they said they are going to get fixed. So London Euston, I think it's looking pretty good. They've got these iconic platform ramps. I've walked down these a fair few times. Coming out into the main station concourse area. It looks pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit dead. It's a little bit empty. But if we're sort of talking about performance and talking about, you know, where do you spend your money and your time when you're developing routes, I think this is you know, this is absolutely fine. You've kind of got to draw the line somewhere. It's representative of Euston. At the moment, of course, it's going to be rebuilt with the HS2 stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad. I think the platforms is where it's at. This is the kind of bit you're going to spend your time in. Oh, I absolutely hate it when the camera does that. Okay, right, where are we? How do we get back in the station? There we go. No. Okay, well, we found another bug. If you get kicked out of the boundary, you can't go back into the boundary. It won't let me through the door. The boundary's stopping me. Let's see if we can get in this way. There we go. Oh crikey. Yeah, no, I do think Euston does look pretty decent. You got 350 going off the other platform there. Right, I think we're going to jump in and do some... we'll check out the 377, because quite a few people have asked for that, and I haven't yet had a go on the 377. The 377s, of course, work the... I believe they're from South Croydon to Milton Keynes in real life now. Or they might terminate at Watford Junction now, but they certainly did used to run through to Milton Keynes at some point. Lord Baron loved the whole design of the graphics. Brilliant. Jack Riley, welcome to Deborah, new subscriber. Really great to have you here. Right, to the trains. Choose a route. Focusing on the West Coast Mainline South. Timetable mode. Class 3772. So the 377-2 have got pantographs on them. They've got you can raise the shoes up and they've got pantographs on them. So when I learnt them, it was 372 for shoe. So if it was a 3772, it had retractable shoes and it had a pantograph. So 2 for shoe was the way I remembered it. Right, someone was asking if we can work this train as a conductor. No, we can't. We know we can't work it as a conductor because we haven't got the little ticket icon. So on the trains we can work as a conductor. In the services we can work as a conductor. We've got this little ticket icon. These ones here are empty coaching stock moves. But as you can see there on the 377 we haven't got that. So what services have we got? Watford Junction to East Croydon. So we can only go down as far as Wembley Central. North London Line add-on, down to North London Line, West London Line add-on, so we can link up the Gospel Oak and Barking. We can link up the West Coast Mainline. We can link up to the London commuter. We can link up to the Great Western Express via the Poplar lines. That is something we absolutely need in this game. That would be a complete game changer. Right, anyway, let's do 2 Mike 04 East Croydon to Watford Junction. It's only a 15-minute run anyway, so let's jump in that. And then when we get up to Watford Junction, I tell you what, we'll jump on the DC lines. We'll do a DC 710 service down as far as Harrow and Wealdstone. Then we'll jump on a Bakerloo line, so train down to Queen's Park. And then we'll do something on the 350. So we get a little bit of everything. We might do a little bit of freight as well. So Mr. Quicker, you can't guard the 390 at the moment, but that is something that's going to be coming. Officially, Charles, does the conductor thing only work on the 350? I believe it's on the 350, the 323 on the Birmingham Cross City, and I believe the 142 Pacer on Blackpool branches. There is a list somewhere, but I can't get it up. And it is something they are going to be expanding across more trains as well as we go along. So, AC system is selected. This should already be set up, really, because we're kind of mid-journey. Full disclosure, I used to drive 377s, so hopefully I know what I'm doing. You never know. I've got no excuses if it goes wrong. Do that TPWS switch as well. Oh, isolated, nope. Okay, that's interesting. The TPWS tooltips are the wrong way around. So that says normal, that says isolate, but the label's the wrong way around, so I don't know which way's which. Right, key in. Well, the light's not on, so I assume the TPWS is in. And day running, doors on the left. The passenger information text on the front is still a little bit too big, I reckon. But there we are, 377 with its pantograph up, running on DC. Fly doors at the back are not broken. That's good news. I know we've had issues with the 377 on the Brighton Mainline with the fly doors. See, the interior of this looks... I think the interior of this is good compared to the Pendolino. I think it looks better than the Pendolino, if I'm being completely honest. Maybe you disagree with me, but I think the interior on here is pretty good. Okay, where are we stopping with this? We're Harrow and Wealdstone and then Watford Junction. So yeah, we're running on AC, not DC on here. Rick Ashtray, do you miss driving passenger trains? Sometimes. I think I miss the interaction with the passengers. And it's a weird thing to say, but... Just making sure I'm trying to stay up to date on the TikTok chat as well there, guys. Right, locking doors. Let's get that done. So 164 of you lovely people watching. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button, consider subscribing. That would be awesome. Jordan Newton has done just that. Hello, welcome to Dad Rail. Great to have you here. Right, into forward. And Scott's Gamer, thank you very much. It's going to go mad now. Great to have you here, my friend. And everybody's already here in the chat who's already subscribed. It's great to have you here. So right, we are currently on the down slow line. And the performance on AC should be better than DC on these. They should be a little bit more speedy. Can you couple the 3772 and 3774 together? Yeah, you absolutely should. All 377s and 375s can be coupled together and should just work. Ian Richards, the first impressions better than Train Sim World 4. Really difficult to say, Ian, because effectively they're the same game. We've had some minor graphical improvements, but I'm sort of more looking at this as a new route and train rather than a completely new game in a weird sort of way. So yeah, really difficult to say. The route, the West Coast Mainline, I think this is going to be a. I think that they've done a really good job on this route, and I think the Pendolino's nice. I think all the kind of everything they've done is pretty good at the moment. Dabrow, the 390 has guard mode. I will double check that, but the paperwork I read said it didn't at the time of release, but it would have. Maybe there's been an update. Ooh, fancy. We need to check that out. Mono starts at Wembley. The train sim classic route starts you at Euston Junction. It could start back at Euston Junction at West London Junction. It absolutely could. Right, 90, next stop Harrow and Euston. Welcome, Lee, to Dadrail. Great to have you here. Kyle's train spotting. Welcome. Right, okay, 0.8 miles away and I'm still doing 90. Brakes on Electrostars are pretty sharp. Take a bit of brake out there. Harrow and Euston. We are going to see this route. We are going to see this station again in a minute on a Bakerloo line train, because I've yet to have a go on the Bakerloo line train. Impulsive Gamer. Yeah, there are a couple of neutral sections on the route. I'm almost certain there are a couple of neutral sections on the route. Okay, that's interesting. There's a... I've got to get out and check that. We've just had a double AWS ping again, which is... that happened on the last train. That's definitely a fault. That shouldn't be happening. And there's no stop car markers here at Harrow and Euston. That is one of my my bugbears. Whether there is in real life or not, I don't know. So it could be accurate, but it seems unlikely that there isn't. What I want to do is just jump out real quick, because hopefully this train isn't going to go without me. This little cone icon denotes that we've got a route hopping option, and I just want to see whether this is going to let me route hop into the Bakerloo line. So press E to hop. Yes, 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 and yes. Okay, we can absolutely do that. Right, that is good to know. So route hopping, this didn't work when I tried the other day. Route hopping between the Bakerloo line and the West Coast Mainline is a thing that works. So we're absolutely going to... I'll show you that in a minute. I think it's a really cool feature. Oh, we're running a little bit early as well. Rick Ashtray, Dovetail games do well with routes. Must be hard to detail every route and please everyone and to get the train details right. I think, Rick, it's always going to be a compromise. You know, you're going to... It's one of those things, isn't it? There's always going to be something that's not right. There's always going to be a compromise. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, that there's a lot of people within the Train Sim World community, or Train Sim community in general, that like to complain about everything. Sometimes rightly so, sometimes it's completely justified. But there's a lot of players within the community that enjoy playing the game. And there's so much negativity that I kind of don't want to be pulled into that negativity. I want to look at the route and I want to enjoy it, and I want to take it for what it is. I don't want to be sitting here going, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. I want to look at the route and I want to play it. If there's obvious bugs in it that shouldn't be there, like the 2 AWSs we just had, or stop car markers missing or something like that, you know, that's, in my opinion, that shouldn't happen. That's a bug, it needs fixing. But if some piece of scenery is not right, or this isn't right, or that isn't right, do you know what? As long as I'm enjoying playing the game, I can absolutely get behind that. And that's not me saying they can produce total and utter crap, for want of a better word, you know. That's me kind of accepting that it is a game and there's going to be a standard, and you know, maybe you disagree with me, but I just think there's so much negativity about. I think honesty is great, but I think being negative for the sake of being negative is just, you know, I think we got a lot of that in the community, and it's, yeah, let's just enjoy ourselves a little bit. Peter G, does anyone playing Train Sim World 5 on Xbox now to get my DLCs? Peter, your deal, and this is something that wasn't publicised very well. Again, honestly, I think Dovetail should have publicised this a bit better. Your DLCs will not go over until the 17th, which is the official release date. I think they should have been a bit more upfront about that. Rick Ashtray, well said, Richard. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Rick. It's kind of a bit of a, you know, it's a contentious thing to say, kind of not try and be the popular one and all that, but it's just generally the way I feel. You know, I enjoy playing the game. Don't let the haters get you down. I agree with some of the things that are said, of course I do, but I'm not going to hate for the sake of hating. Adam Turner takes a lot of work to model this, and they are a small team compared to the rest of the gaming industry. Yeah, Billy Dubs, you're correct. If you're playing on PC, all your DLC, you should get that today. But there has been some issues with that. Can we spawn in a 3772 and drive up to where the 377 changes power? What's that section included? Unfortunately not. But like I said earlier, I'd love to see a West London line, North London line add-on. It's something, I'll be honest with you, it's something that I can... It would make sense to do it. It would make sense to do it, especially with the route hopping. Now we've got the ability to hop between routes on foot. If we had the ability to hop between routes on trains, which is kind of the next logical step, then can you imagine getting to Clapham Junction on the Brighton Main Line, route hopping onto the West London line on a 377, driving up the West London line to Euston, then route hopping onto the West Coast Main Line. I just... Again, I have absolutely no inside knowledge, so don't say, oh yeah, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. This is purely my opinion. For me as a player, and if I was sort of, you know, if I had my developer's head on, that makes sense. Once we can start linking routes together, that makes sense. Hey, Robert S., welcome to Deborah, a new subscriber. What am I doing with my view? I'm doing funky things here and I've got no idea what I'm actually doing. Okay, last signal was 2 yellows. Amy, the engine can technically do this. That's the thing. Exactly, Amy. You know, they've proved it can do that because we've got the route hopping on foot. So I'm sure it's not a far cry away to kind of, you know, bring a train into that. Right, 1 yellow, red ahead. We're going into Watford Junction. Platform 10 is our next station stop. Phonical 25 North London line is so boring, 15 to 25 miles an hour. It's not quite that slow, but I get what you're saying. It depends what you want from a route. You know, we had the Suffragette line, the Goblin. It really well received. It's same sort of driving style. It's quite slow, lots of stations, but again, probably one of the best routes in the game. It was just really well received. Yeah, Amy, you say about the 5 circle using the functionality of merging routes. That I think that's a little bit different the way that's done, but I see what you're getting at. Peter W, I agree with you, Richard, about what's important, etc. But it's also annoying that dovetail games can repeat mistakes that need fixing. Yeah, Peter, see that? You know, I'm going to completely and utterly agree with you there. When there's a bug that keeps reappearing and things are not fixed, that's not forgivable. You know, that's not what we're paying money for. That's not what the game is about. So yeah, you know, and I will, things that are buggy and don't work, I will call out. Absolutely, you know, I will call out, but you know, you've also got to kind of, you know, where do you draw that line, sort of thing. Gabriel, so far, what would you rate Train Sim World out of 10? Oh, really subjective, really subjective. Graphically, I think it's going to be an 8-9. I think the graphics are sort of pretty decent on it. Everything's different, you know. Some trains sound great, some trains sound terrible, some things look great, something. It's really difficult to say. I just think it's so subjective. Hey, Collie3495 on TikTok. Hello, Jamie Jones. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Sion. Are you on a Great Western Railway service? We're on a Southern service. We've got this route. There are no Great Western Railway services. However, Train Sim World does have Paddington to Reading on it, Great Western Railway, and that is also receiving a big update and remaster. Watford Junction, platform number 10. We are going to go and have a walk around Watford Junction to see if we can jump on that Class 710 over there. Watford Junction, I think, has been superbly well modelled. We're going all the way up to the end of the platform by the looks of it. Okay, that's interesting. We're going on to buffer stops. I didn't know we were going on to buffer stops. TPWS should have tripped me out because I was doing more than 10 miles an hour. So this route does have functioning TPWS. I tried it going into Euston on one of my other videos, but doesn't appear to have it there. It's not showing that I've got it isolated, so not entirely sure why that didn't work. Typical Nathan, is there any services that skip Milton Keynes? No, everything stops there. There might be some AI ones that don't stop there, typical Nathan, but yeah, I think everything you can drive stops there. BK Gaming, I'd love for them to finish off the HS1 loop so you can go all the way from St Pancras around the coast. But oh, that would be epic. I would absolutely love that. I get the impression the guys and girls at Dovetail would love to do that as well from conversations I've had. But kind of everything's very southeastern centric at the moment. So like, you know, releasing another third rail route in the southeastern area. We've got Brighton Mainline, we've got Southeastern High Speed, we've got East Coastway. They're all kind of, you know, we got to give other areas some love. Hey, Rick Astro has become a member. Thank you very much, my friend. Platinum medal. We only sped twice. That's got to be a record. Right, okie dokie. Oh, crikey. We can't fold the seat down, right. I'm a fat driver. I can't get past. Right, let's go for a little walk around Watford. I want to try and catch one of the 710 DCs. George Sandy, personally haven't got Train Sim World this year. I think my Xbox would have exploded trying to run this. Now would be a good time because Train Sim World 5, when it releases on the 17th, which is the official release date, is going to be a free download. Beautiful container train going through. I also want to try this with a bit of ambient weather conditions going on as well, so we'll get some snow or something in. Working lift.
Doors closing.
Nice sound effects.
Platform. Doors opening. Lift going down.
It's a good place just to come train spotting and kind of have a look around at what's going on. Okay, let's go over to the DC lines.
Doors closing. Platform. Doors opening.
Typical Nathan, I don't know why it asks you to lock the doors. That is something that's a little bit irritating. I love the detail here with like the drainage grids, and they're on a bit of a wonk as well, which they would be in real life, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I just think Watford looks extremely well done. So let's see what time this. Hey MH Trains, welcome, new subscriber. Let's see what time. That's saying not in service. I tell you what we'll do, rather than waiting around, we'll spawn in a 710. Would be nice if they did St Pancras to Leicester and then route hop onto the current route up to Derby and Nottingham. Yeah, with a Meridian or something like that. I'd definitely be here for that. I've just got to let my cats out the door. They're scratching away. There we go. Right. Right, choose a route. Like I say, we're sticking to the West Coast Mainline. We are going to do Frankfurt Fulda in a separate stream. Someone was saying you can guard the Pendolino. Where are we? There we are. Let's just... Yeah, none of those have got that guard icon there. So at the moment, you can't guard the Pendolino, but I believe that is coming. Okay, so 710. Watford Junction to London Euston, 10:58 departure. We're only going to go down as far as Harrow and Willstone on this. Then we're going to jump onto a Bakerloo line train. And we'll do the Bakerloo line down as far as Queen's Park. And then we'll have a little look at conductor mode. So, let's start the weather off as light clouds and see where it goes. I mean, the way the dynamic weather works, it's really overzealous and it'll end up chucking it down with rain. Ash, Wolverhampton, Birmingham, we've got in game. Ash is saying on TikTok, Birmingham, we've got in game. We've got the Birmingham Cross City line, so Lichfield, Trent Valley up to Redditch and Brimsgrove via Birmingham New Street. That's in game. Luke, Train Seawell 5, the base game, which includes the training centre and a couple of trains for you to drive around the test track. On the 17th is a free download, so do go and check that out. I'm in Train Spot 12. They need to do an option where you could lose your points if you step on the third rail. I don't disagree. Don't disagree at all. Right, 2 Charlie 2 free. Class 710. So the 710 is not new to game. Obviously, this was this come out with the Suffragette line, but we are now driving this on. Interestingly enough, the shoes seem to be up. Okay, well that's the shoes are down and just clipping through the conductor rail, right? Okay, that's all the way along. Yeah, I've just electrocuted myself here, but yeah, that's not good. Right, okay, let's safety systems on. Normal. Normal. Master key in. Where are we? Secure. There we go. Let's get that cancelled.
TPWS and AWS operational.
So this one talks to you. So confirm deregister. It's not. That's not right. It's buggy. And tail lights are on auto. Headlight marker lights are on day. Doors open on the left hand side. Yeah, you've got TPWS Mark IV on this, which is why it talks to you. The Pendolino doesn't because it's got the older TPWS on it. Yeah, Chris, I know. BK Gaming, there should be something underneath the channel that says join. It should be very kind of you. Yeah, Chris, the lifts are very fast. Yep, I'm in Train Spot 12 on TikTok, 750 volts just went through Richard. My hair is standing on end. Right, okay, so we're going to do Watford High Street, Bushy, Carpenter's Park, Hatch End, Headstone Lane, Harrow and Willstone, and then we're going to jump onto the Bakerloo line down to Queen's Park. Then we'll have a look at the... we'll do a couple of stations guarding on the 350, maybe a little drive on the 350 as well. And we may well have... What's the time? Yeah, we may well have time to have a little look at a 66 as well. I don't know if the 66 has had any modifications, so that'll be interesting if it has. Right, I've broken it already. Please work. Okay, right. Put the brakes in. Secure. Okay, let's turn it off. If in doubt, turn it off and turn it back on again.
TPWS and AWS operational.
There we go. See, if it doesn't work, turn it off and turn it back on again. It works with train. It does genuinely work with trains. If the train's broken or we've got a fault on the train, the first thing the fitter will do is tell you to turn it off and turn it back on again. Hey, Amy, you've become a member. Thank you very much. Impulsive Gamer, does the 350 have TPWS Mark IV on it? It quite possibly does, but it is a fairly old unit now, so... I don't know, maybe. Amy, this membership was brought to you by Great Western Railway, never running a train on time. All views and opinions are my own. All of that good stuff. Let's just add that bit in. Delay repay. Right, so we're turning away from the West Coast Mainline, and we kind of we do a little dog leg round to Watford High Street. Then we see, why am I getting an AWS horn when I've got a green signal? I mean, it could be that it always does that. It could be a test magnet, but again, unusual. Not impossible, but unusual. Hey, Pandado Trains on TikTok. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong there. Nice stuff here. Thank you very much. Another 710 coming the other way there. And I have to remember the brakes on the 710 are absolutely dreadful. My manager has got no biscuits left. I don't mind GWR, Amy. I mean, I don't have to travel on them daily, but I done a bit of route learning. I route learn up to Didcot on the Great Western Mainline, and yeah, good bunch of staff, really friendly, letting me in their cabs to do my route learning. Cabbed a few IETs and some 387s. Where's our stop car mark down? Oh, Scottish, yeah, you're providing the team. What biscuits are we having, Scottish? And if anyone says Jaffa Cakes, it's not a biscuit. Neither's a Kit Kat. Let's start a big debate in the chat. Right, okay. 40 seconds late because I couldn't get the train to work, but that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Jacoby Gaming, House Train Sim 5, as I'm looking into getting it from Train Sim 3. Jacoby Gaming, you might as well get it because it's a free upgrade. So on the 17th of September, you will be able to download it for free. If you want the additional content, the West Coast Mainline and the Pendolino, you will have to pay for it, but the actual base game is a free update. Agreed, I'm a Train Spot 12. Jaffa Cakes are not biscuits. Names the clues in the name. Right, we're off to Bushy, which is where we'll come alongside the West Coast Mainline once again. Ladies, yeah, Kit Kats are biscuits. Okay, we're divisive in the chat now. A Kit Kat is a biscuity-like stuff covered in chocolate. True hybrid. J. Rick, shortbread. It's got to be shortbread. Ashley Smashley, rather be late than cancelled. Monster Security, is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? No, a tomato is most definitely a fruit, because if it's got pips on the inside, it's a fruit, right? If it's got seed on the outside, it's a vegetable. So tomato is a fruit. George Sandy, I'm with you. Kit Kat is a chocolate bar and a Jaffa Cake is a cake. George Sandy, yep, absolutely right. Scottish, chocolate digestives and shortbread and a Yorkshire tea. Oh, now you're talking. Mine's nearly all. I've got cold tea. Oh, that's punishment enough. It is stone cold as well. Hobnobs are a close second. Oh yeah, you're not wrong, Amy. All those oh, what are the other ones? They're like chocolate digestives, but they're like a caramel sort of chocolate digestive. They're really good as well. And we are 4 for the S here at Bushy. I still think the brakes on the 710 are not accurate. I still don't think the brakes are right. Stephen Taylor, I prefer my wife's homemade biscuits. Oh, you can't beat homemade biscuits, Stephen. I completely agree with you. Agent B7, that is very kind of you, my friend. Thank you so much. 40 seconds late is coffee and strudel with a manager in TV. You got to be at least 5 minutes late. Coffee and strudel. Strudel. Oh, love a bit of strudel. I've had a strudel for a long time. MC Edits to Good has become a member. Thank you very much, my friend. That's very kind of you. So if you are new to the channel, it is absolutely great to have you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That would be awesome. And we're 20 leaving Bushy off to Carpenter's Park. So as well as the Train Sim World content, I've got a model railway project on the go at the moment. I've got a piece of equipment in front of me for that. I have a an Arduino Mega with a little touchscreen for the model railway. We're kind of doing funky things with that. You'll also find kind of train drivers rules videos. There are some on the channel. I keep meaning to make more, and there's some kind of train driver vlogs and some information and bits and bobs. If you want to find out more about my day-to-day antics as a train driver, I do post quite regularly on my Twitter account, or X account, and you'll find that on the screen for you now. Cruise Spotter, I can't get the 710 in Train Sim World 5. It won't transfer over. Cruise Spotter, are you playing on console or PC? Yeah. Amy, this is going to be fun to program. I'll be keeping you and Gareth busy. Luke Smith, good evening. How are we doing? So a little bit of a slow run on the DC lines. Now, this was a question I asked when I made my Class 710 video, DC Line 710 video, because there has been about 4 videos gone out on this today, because I was fortunate enough to have early access. I've had access to the game for about a week now. This particular section doesn't have any Bakerloo line trains going over it. Is this a scenery error, having 4th rail here? Or does this section have 4th rail in real life? And if it does have 4th rail, why does it have 4th rail? Did Bakerloo line trains used to run up to Watford? If you are in the know, let me know. GJ, the Mega Challenge. I still owe you a pint or two, GJ, when I'm down your way next. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Luke. I'm finding it pretty good, to be honest with you. I mean, as I've said a few times, I'm sort of looking at it as a new route and a new train, or new routes and new trains, rather than a new game. The new features are great, but I don't think I can kind of judge what we've got based on the new features. I think for me, it's the new content that makes it. Charlie, I've got Train Sim World 4. Is it worth getting 5? Absolutely, Charlie, because it will be on the 17th of September. You'll be able to upgrade for free. So there's absolutely no reason not to do it. Wookie390, I'm not going to be driving anything tomorrow. I am at work, but I'm on office duties. I can't say more than that. I haven't been naughty. I'm not having tea and biscuits with the manager. before you jump to conclusions. GJ, I think the Bakerloo line did run to Watford once. A train spot from Berkshire, it does have it in real life. The Bakerloo line used to run to Watford on the 1980. There we go. We are a font of knowledge. James Moore on TikTok is saying Train Sim World should add C2C routes going. James, C2C would be absolutely banging. I have said before I would love to see C2C in game. I think it would be a really good route to have in game because it's a closed network. You can do Fenchurch Street down to Shoeburyness or Southend Victoria, Southend on Sea. You can kind of just do the whole of the C2C network. And if we get it with 387s and they're not 387s, are they? 357s, I want to say, the Electrostars, and also the they have got 387s on C2C, haven't they? They got 389s or something. Yeah, I get confused with all these modern units. And yes, so show us the train. We are in a London Overground Class 710. Euston, next station Hatch End. Charlie, odd opinion. I think they should have the Eurostar. Would be a bit fun, I reckon. I would like to see the Eurostar in game, but I don't think we're going to get it, and I disagree that it would be fun. I think because we've got excuse me, we've got the South Eastern High Speed, we've got HS1 from St Pancras to Ashford. Once you get over to France, having the bit in France would be pretty good down to Paris. The actual Channel Tunnel I just don't think it would be particularly fun sitting in a tunnel for half an hour in darkness. I think it's kind of... I think there was a Channel Tunnel route for Train Sim Classic. I just don't think it would be that great. But yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Tom, no Locomotive Livery Location on tonight's stream. We will, however, have Locomotive Location livery returning soon. Oh, the graphics do just look pretty decent. It's a nice looking route. It is nice. Adam Turner, tunnels are dull. Yeah, exactly that. Okay, right. Okay, that's bad. Right. I said I wouldn't be negative, but you know I will point things out that are blatantly wrong. That is an alien invasion of some sort going on there with people floating in the bridge. That my soundboard isn't working, but that would get a yeah. Sad trombone sound effect. That was a really bad sad trombone sound effect. Right, we're off to Headstone Lane. Someone was saying about the 710s. What I hate about the 710 are the screens. No brightness adjustment, too dark in most environments. Yeah. I thought we did have some sort of adjustment on there, but no, you're right. Yeah, no, that there is no brightness control. That's a clip for TikTok. Great, the train guy. How much have you missed? We've been live for 1 hour 35 minutes so far. We still got 127 of you lovely people watching, and so far 1,871 people have viewed it on TikTok with 2,648 likes, which is pretty cool. So thank you to everybody over there. Simon Hicks, for some reason a lot of people seem to think the Channel Tunnel would be a great opportunity to spot marine life. I mean, I must admit, when I was younger I kind of thought you were going to be going through a glass tunnel like you do at the aquariums. But I think a lot of people kind of had that impression. I actually went on the Eurostar earlier on in the year for the first time. I'd been on the shuttle with a school trip, but I went on it for the first time earlier on in the year. Luke Smith, from a Train Sim World 4 point of view, it'd be nice to see the south side of the East Coast Mainline. King's Cross to Doncaster could be an interesting one. That'd be a really good run, Luke. It'd give us an opportunity to run the 700 on AC mode as well, so I would definitely be here for that. Wookie, so London Underground. I mean, we've got the Bakerloo line, obviously. What line would I have? Difficult one. Circle and District would be pretty interesting. Maybe the Piccadilly line. So you get the outside running down to Heathrow as well. You get the 4-track section between Barons Court and Ealing, I want to say, 4-track section of the District line. Don't know the Underground that well. Then you get the tunnel section. I think Piccadilly would be a pretty cool one to do, especially with the new stock, as Amy has just said there. Right, we're off to Harrow and Wealdstone. We're going to ditch this train at Harrow and Wealdstone and jump into a Bakerloo line train. I'm just going to abandon ship because my son is knocking on the door. Talk amongst yourselves. Hey, Rafe, the Train Sport's become a member. Thank you very much, Rafe. I'm back. And 45, 30 warning. 30 is as we go underneath the West Coast Mainline, I believe. So we do also have a Discord server, guys, that you're more than welcome to jump into. Do go and check that out. There's a link in the description below. That'd be great to see you over there. Luke, Piccadilly line would definitely be a good shout. Luca over on TikTok. Yeah, we're currently on the Class 710 on the London Overground. The London Overground 710. We're still on the West Coast Mainline. We're on the Lioness line, as it would be, or the there's R30 that I've completely missed. The Lioness line, or the DC lines, as they're otherwise known. Hey Rafe, no worries, bud. Glad you're here. Laserjet, I was close enough to get back in time. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. Wookie390, wonder what the Train Sim World 6 release day in the UK will be. To be fair, if they're going to carry on down this road of giving us free updates, then they can kind of release as many as they want, as long as it's not costing you money every year to upgrade. It's I think it was definitely the right decision to do what they've done. Right, unlock doors. We are actually going to bail out here and say goodbye to the Class 710. Hopefully the AI will take that over.
May I have your attention, please? Closed circuit television and
is there a route jumping option?
Station for your personal safety.
So there was a route jumping option over on the other platform. You didn't see this, guys, okay? I don't recommend doing this. You saw nothing. There it is down the end there. What we're going to do, and I'll kind of show you how this works, because this is a really cool new feature. And we absolutely used the footbridge, okay? So when we see these little like wizard hat, I think they look like traffic cones. Apparently they're wizard hats, but I think they look like traffic cones. When we see those, we can press E. So the time in game at the moment is 11:19. If we press E, and it gives us a list of routes and places we can jump to. So Bakerloo line, Harrow and Wealdstone. Get started. Bakerloo line 2021, London Underground Bakerloo line. Let's go to the 2021 one. I don't know what the difference is. We get a bit of a loading screen, but this is pretty cool. I like this. Yeah, I know that's naughty, guys. And there we are, 11:19. We are now on the Bakerloo line at Harrow and Wealdstone. I'm surprised we didn't spawn in exactly the same place. So when I'd done this on the Brighton Main Line, we spawned in the right place. The modern route definitely looks somewhat better than the old one. Crikey, yeah, you can definitely tell the difference, can't you, between the old and the new? Definitely a massive difference. I'm hoping there's a little traffic cone thing to take us back. So yeah, I can't find it, but there should be a little traffic cone thing so we can spawn back. Well, that's kind of how your route hopping works, which is pretty cool. We'll jump out and reload in because we're going to jump into a Bakerloo line train. So to the trains, choose a route, and that's my last plate because that's the one we were just on. West Coast Mainline South, timetable, tube stock. Harrow and Wealdstone to Elephant and Castle. Although we will have to get off of this at Queen's Park. We won't be able to take it all the way through unless we route hop onto the Bakerloo line proper. So the actual routes are kind of, they're still separate. Eternal Dread, there isn't one in Bakerloo. They said it will be added soon because they are pushing out an update to Bakerloo. There we go. Thank you very much. Perfect. Alright, okay, that's not supposed to happen. We've started and the train's sort of jolted forward in a horrible fashion. That's definitely not supposed to happen. Hey, 377. Right, let's see if I can remember how to drive a Bakerloo line train. It's not a route I've played with lots of times. How do I stop that noise? Somebody tell me. There we go. Right, 2 whites on the shunt. Trip and test. Is there an MG set? There we go. We made it. We're working. We need to do the lights as well. Okay. I'm not doing very well here, am I? Okay, right. Left tail light on. Saloon, lighting and heating set. Right, okay. Are we going? We're going. UK Aviation Hub. We done the class 390 Pendolino. We are going to jump in the... we done that right at the beginning of the stream. We are going to jump onto the class 350 and have a little go on conductor mode and have a run on that as well. So we're not sticking with the metro. We're kind of having a little go at everything, which for me is the joy of this West Coast Mainline route. It's got something for everyone. It's just busy. It's active. There's lots going on. I just like it. And I'm absolutely terrible when it comes to driving tube trains. I wish we had working monitors. I mean, I was saying earlier, wasn't I, about having some sort of dispatch system. I wish we had working monitors. Sleegey on 165 Hertz on TikTok. This is Harren Wilstone. So if you are just joining us, we're on the West Coast Mainline South route for Train Sim World 5. This is the early access version of Train Sim World 5. We're going to be taking this train down to Queen's Park. Then we're going to be jumping onto a class 350 at London Euston. Doing a little bit of conducting. And then having a drive of the 350. And then we'll probably call it a night after that. Right, wait until 05:39 before departure. We can have a little look at the Bakerloo line train. Absolutely packed and standing. Nice. Typical London. None of the passengers are talking to each other. They're all sitting there in silence. I travel on the Bakerloo line quite a lot. I travel from Charing Cross up to Euston for work. I'll be doing that journey tomorrow, actually. Although I'm not driving. Elvis Kenny G, welcome to Devon, a subscriber. Great to have you here. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's a pretty solid route. Right, we're leaving early. We're straight round to parallel on the brake controller down to Kenton. Monster Security, do you get free train travel? I don't. So I get free train travel whilst I'm on duty for the purposes of duty, but I don't get free leisure travel. When I drove passenger trains, I did, but as on the freight, that's not something that we get, unfortunately. UK Aviation Hub, what is your favourite train? Really good question. Really good question. And I don't know, is the answer. Ashley Smashy, does the London Underground have any safety systems apart from DSD? So you have something on the London Underground called tripcocks, which are basically mechanical arms that you come across at signals. So I don't know how well we can see it on here. 0.6 miles. I can't zoom in any further than that. I can get a little bit closer. So I don't know whereabouts it is on the train, but on the front of the train... On the front of the train, there's effectively a tap, which is a brake tap that sits down. And on the track, you have something called a mechanical train stop, which is like a physical item. As the train comes along, if the train stops raised, it will knock the tap on the train, which will cause the emergency brakes to come on. And they're called mechanical train stops. You get them at red signals on a lot of the underground routes, which prevents... It's sort of similar to TPWS on the main line, but it's kind of a mechanical version of it. This route is definitely a lot better with the with all the AI traffic coming in the opposite direction. Yeah, I think the train stops, the mechanical train stops, that is something they've forgotten to put in. Luke Smith, DSDB, and the dead man's handle, yeah. Driver safety device, dead man's handle. It's all the same thing. All the same thing. If TSW5 is your first purchase, do you get all the routes from the previous games? So, Aaron, if you get the free upgrade of Train Sim World 5, the free thing, which will be releasing on the 17th, you'll get a couple of trains, and you'll get the training centre, which is kind of got like a little test track where you can drive around. They then do kind of bundles, depending on what routes you want. You can then buy bundles and add on to it. But if you kind of just want to jump in and see if it's for you, then the free upgrade, jump in the training centre, have a little play with it, and see how you get on. Agent B7, wait, you actually can see West Coast Mainline traffic on the Bakerloo line now, because we're not on the Bakerloo. We are still on the West Coast Mainline route. This is one of the layers on the West Coast Mainline, which is why we can only take this as far as Queen's Park, because we're not on the Bakerloo line route. We're still on the West Coast Mainline route. Right, we're off to South Kenton, 0.8 miles. Still got not in service up at the front as well. Let's get that shifted. There we go. Elephant and Castle. That's a bit better. That's where we want to go. Hey, BK Gaming has become a member. Thank you very much, my friend. Much appreciated. And we're just wide open here because obviously these trains are not built for speed. So we've got South Kenton, North Wembley, Wembley Central, Stonebridge Park, Holston, Wilson Junction, Kensal Green, and Queen's Park. And then when we get down to Queen's Park, what we'll probably do when we get to Queen's Park is... I'm just thinking about the best way to do this. I think we'll jump onto West Coast Mainline. We'll probably jump on at... We'll jump on at Milton Keynes. We'll do a couple of stations in conductor mode on the 350. We'll get down a couple of stations, and then we'll jump into the driving cab and drive it the rest of the way. Down to London Euston. Where's this want me to stop? End of the platform. All stopped, loading passengers. We should have left already, we're now running late somehow. Finally found the join button, had to load the website on a non-iOS drive. Really appreciate it, BK Gaming. Thank you very much, my friend. So, someone's asking on TikTok about Hotus throttle or like a regular mouse and keyboard. I'm using a regular mouse and keyboard for this. Train Sim doesn't natively support joystick. If you're playing on console, obviously you've got controllers. It doesn't natively support joystick, but there is a mod you can download, and I do need to have a little look into that because it does completely change the gameplay. So like I say, guys, we are going to have a look at the 350 and we are going to do some conductor moding. Is there anything in particular anybody would like to see? This is kind of, this stream is all about showcasing the game. If there's anything you want to see, I'm absolutely happy to kind of show you it. So we're probably going to end up not doing sort of full end-to-end services. I kind of rather give you a selection of content rather than sort of, spend too long on one thing. But if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, then we can absolutely go for it. Luke Smith, it's not an underground service if it's not running late. Paul, how you doing? Yeah, Dylan, we're absolutely going to do conductor mode. That's going to be the next thing we do. We're absolutely going to be doing that. I wish I had Cross City installed. I don't have that. I do have that DLC. I just don't have it installed at the moment. But But I have got Blackpool branches installed, and the 1-4... No, I know, we'll stick on the West Coast. And we're on the S, and we're running late again. We're going to have to start driving this thing, driving it a little bit more aggressive. I don't like the word aggressive. We're going to drive it a little bit more. We're going to utilise the maximum capabilities of the train. We're going to utilise the full performance ability of the train to drive as efficiently as we possibly can. Right, Wembley Central. Let's drive it like we stole it. That's the other way of saying it. UK Aviation, what scenarios are there? Good question. I haven't had a look at the scenarios. We won't play any, but we'll have a look and see what ones we've got once we get down to Queen's Park. If I forget, once we're getting down close to Queen's Park, post the question again, because I've got the memory of an elephant that's lost its memory. Ashley, I enjoy using keyboard and mouse with controller. It makes me feel more immersed with it. Oh, interesting. Did I see something about a VR thing as well, or did I just dream? I might have just dreamt that. Yeah, Kyle, there's a couple of trains you can guard on at the moment. It is something they're going to expand. They are going to add more as we go along. But there are a couple you can. There are a couple you can drive on. Guard on, sorry. So the 323 on the Cross City line, I know you can. The 142 on the Blackpool branches, you can. Hey, Lewis Gates, how are we doing? GJ, Dovetail Games are doing a VR thing. Awesome. UK Aviation, yes, there is a VR. Nice. Yeah, I was saying earlier, I think the way Dovetail Games have gone about doing this, giving us the core game for free, it makes me happy. That's kind of the right way to go about doing it. Matthew Weston, welcome to Deborah, new subscriber. Great to have you here. I was invited up to... So last year, before Train Sim World 4 come out, myself and the other ambassadors were invited up to Dovetail Games Towers in Chatham. And we were kind of shown the new content, given a preview about it. Matt P gave us a little talk and told us all about it and everything else. And, a lot of the feedback from that, when we went back to the community, a lot of the feedback is kind of like, oh, it's another update, it's another game update, we've got to pay for it. So this year, when we kind of got the invitation to go to Dovetail Towers, that's what I'm calling it, it's not the official name, in Chatham, I was kind of like, oh no, here we go, it's another paid DLC, and the community's going to go mad and everything else. That was kind of where I was at, and I didn't actually go to I didn't go to Dovetail Games to kind of get the spiel on it this year. I was a bit busy with work, unfortunately, but I watched. They kind of done a Teams meeting kind of thing, press release to tell us all about it, and I watched it live on there. And the first thing they come out with was, "This is a free update," and they're like, "Right, okay, I'm sold." Now tell me about the features, because by saying it's a free update, you've completely got rid of that element of ripping us off and all this, that, and the other. So I'm really pleased they've chosen to go down that route, and long may it continue. Lewis, will we do a 66 run? We might have a little look in the 66. I don't know if we'll do a full run, but we can have a little look in it. Right, Matthew asks a really good question. Hey, all, great stream, by the way. Thank you very much. Just wondering if anyone knows if the console versions have similar content to the PC version. Okay, Matthew, so it depends what generation console you're playing on. If you're playing on an older generation console, some of the additional layers on the route, so like the Class 710 that we've just done, the London Overground layer, you won't get that. I don't think you get the 377 as well, but don't quote me on that. You can still play those trains on other routes, they just won't layer onto this route. If you're playing on a current gen console, so your PS5, your Xbox, whatever one we're on, like the current generation consoles, it will work exactly the same as it does on PC. It's just they've kind of had to scale it back to get it to run on older generation consoles, which I don't think is a bad thing, because it makes the game sort of more accessible to everybody. So yeah, depends on what sort of console you're playing on. Graham, this is Train Sim World 5. If you're not part of the Train Sim World community, 17th of September, PC and console, it releases completely free of charge. You don't get all the routes that I'm playing now, but you do kind of get the base game, and it gives you the ability to jump in and see if you like it. And we're at Stonebridge Park. Occasionally come to Stonebridge Park if we're taking a train out of Wembley Depot. Stonebridge Park is where we would get the underground to, and then you walk from Stonebridge Park into Wembley Depot. I don't actually sign Wembley Depot, so the only times I've ever been up there is like with another driver. It's rather. Oh look, West Coast Pendolino over on the right hand side there, beautiful. All stop, all stop, all stop. Raygun, hello, good evening, how are you doing? Ludwig Tales, oh yeah, Dadral, your last TSW4 have inspired me to do one as well, and I drove my top 5 most driven trains on Train Sim World, and my most driven train up until Train Sim World 4 was the HST. What's yours? Oh, good question. I think of late, my favourite train has been the 142. The pacer on Blackpool branches, just the way it handles and bounces along, and those suspension physics, just superb. Harun, how are you doing? Hello, question. I have purchased the deluxe version and it looks like my previous DLC hasn't transferred over. Is there a fix that anyone knows for this? If you're playing on console, it will not transfer over until the 17th. If you're playing on Steam, then log in, log out of your Steam account, turn your computer on and off, do all of those good things, and hopefully you can get it to work. But if you're on console, it will not come over until the 17th. Hey, McEdits to go. Welcome to Deborah, new subscriber. Lots of new members. Little Britain impersonations. New members. Yeah, so all the route we're doing at the moment is known as, obviously we're driving a Bakerloo line train, but this is known as the Lioness line, or the DC lines, the Watford DC lines. So the 710 you can drive all the way along from Watford Junction down to Euston on the DC lines. Kyle, so the full release of the game will be on the 17th of September. People that pre-ordered it on the deluxe version do have access to it now, but the actual full game will be on the 17th. Keyboard, haven't played it since Train Sim World 1 and 2. Is it worth rebuying? Keyboard, no need to rebuy it. Train Sim World 5 is a completely free upgrade. So let's get some breaks in before we have a tea and biscuits with the manager. It's on the platform. It's on the platform. What do you mean? Yeah, you haven't got to rebuy it. It's a completely free upgrade. If you do want the new routes and stuff, they are paid, but the actual game is a free update. Dan Maguire, Southeastern routes. So we've got Southeastern High Speed in Train Sim World. That covers Ashford International to St Pancras via the High Speed line. That also gives you Faversham to Ebbsfleet, and it also gives you Faversham to Dartford. That costs the 395 Javelin, 375, Thameslink Class 700, and the 465 Networker for that. We've done a few videos on the channel in the past on that route. It is a really good route. Right, we've got Wilson Junction, Kensal Rise, and Queen's Park, where we are bailing out. Yeah, UK Aviation Hub, we absolutely will. So, Adam Wire McGarry, are you able to move your content over yet? If you're playing on console, your content won't come over until the 17th, which is the official release date. If you're playing on PC, your content should come over. They've had a few issues with it, but it should be starting to work, and you should be starting to get it changed over. Oh, there's a 30 there. Let's get a bit of braking. Another scenery bug here at Euston Junction. Like I said, I'm not going to hate on things for the sake of hating on them, but if something's not right, I will say. See, that line there goes up to the North London lines. So you could take a freight up there along the North London line, Gospel Oak onto the Goblin, then around to Ripple Lane or something. Can you imagine bringing freight Milton Keynes to Ripple Lane? Or it's got, having route hopping with trains and merging routes like that's got so much potential. So, scenery issue here at Euston High Level. Floating bridge. This is the maglev bridge. It looks like it's floating, but it's like a maglev bridge, really. There's very high-powered magnets underneath there. Yeah. I need to put some supports in. Euston is pretty decent, though. It's pretty good representation. UK Aviation Hub. Yeah, I went on Eurostar for the first time this year. Clonk, you're saying I can get Train World 5 for free if I have Train World 3. Absolutely. 17th of September, you'll be able to upgrade from Train World 3 to Train World 5. You won't get the Train World 5 routes. They are paid DLC, but you will get all the other core features of Train World 5. You'll get those completely free of charge. Let's go around the back of Euston TMD. Kensal Green, and then Queen's Park, where we are bailing out. Clonk, so you won't be able to until the 17th of September. I'm not exactly sure how it'll work, but you should just be able to click buy and it should say, like, tree in the face. That's another tree in the face. Yeah, there'll be a thing like that says buy and it should say it's free. McEdits to go. Can you drive to and from Euston TMD? Yeah, Euston TMD, some of the services do start and finish in there. So if you're on timetable mode, there are services in and out of Euston TMD. Daniel, conductor mode is a bit of a letdown. Hopefully they improve it over time. I'll talk more about it when we do it, Daniel, but... yeah, I'll talk about it when we do it. We're going to do conductor mode in a minute anyway. Kensal Green Tunnels. No worries, Clonk. Liam Williams, love doing the shunting in Brighton Depot. Nice. So if you are watching on TikTok and you want to join us over on YouTube, you can. It's youtube.com/Davrel. I have got both chat windows open, but I am trying to keep up with both of them. Unfortunately, although my streaming software Streamlabs allows me to stream to both TikTok and YouTube at the same time, the chat window, TikTok doesn't the chat window doesn't work the same, so I've kind of got the TikTok chat window open separately. So I am trying to keep up with the chat over there as well, guys. But if you've got a question and you're not getting an answer to it and you keep posting it, head over to the YouTube channel and pop it on there, because I'm more likely to see it on there. Right, loading. One more station to go. We've got a single yellow there as well on our Whiskey Sierra 1-2 signal. Ashley, it does sound like the button is being pressed continuously. I'm not quite sure what that is, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Right, one yellow, we are red ahead. Let's try not to have a spad, because that's mega tea and biscuits with the manager. Yeah, David, I completely agree with you there. Hope one day we get something other than the 66 to do the cargo stuff. The 66, although it is, you know, it's the backbone of the British freight industry. Make no, you know, it is what it is. They're boring, they're pretty standard, but they're very good at what they do. That's coming from a driver of a 66. I would love to have something a little bit more exciting in game. A 70, I think would be good for freight stuff. You know, a 56, I'd be here for that. Right, got a green, got the route indicator. We're going to be 15 miles an hour. The pie tray, did they fix the scenery bug at Slough? As in, is it still there? What you mean, is Slough still there? Slough is just... no, let's not say anything against Slough. Great Western Express is having an update. So if you own the Great Western Express route, you will get that. And I believe that's going to be free as well. So that's having a remaster. James Cartwright, good evening. Hello. I was just wondering, as I am Stourbridge, Westminster, have you been on the shuttle train from Stourbridge Town to Stourbridge Junction? Absolutely, I have. If you go on my Twitter feed, you'll find pictures of me doing it last year. So we went up to the Worley Model Railway exhibition at the NEC. And yeah, as part of that, we went over to Stourbridge and had a couple of goes on the Stourbridge shuttle. Interesting bit of kit. Yeah, there's some pictures on my social media of that. Would have been about November last year, so if you want to scroll back and have a little look. Odd bit of track here at Queen's Park where we go through the engine shed. It's really peculiar. David, wouldn't mind seeing the 69 myself. I keep forgetting my sound effects are not working. That's supposed to have like one of those crickety sound effects. My opinions about the 69s are well known. GJ, it's easier to get into Slough than it is to get out of it. I feel like we're bordering on risky territory here. Agent B7, so the current Bakerloo line does not have the West Coast Mainline layers. As someone mentioned earlier on, the Bakerloo line is going to get an update, and I believe it probably will get those layers. But at the moment, if we're playing on West Coast Mainline, this is as far as we can go. We do have route hopping, obviously, so we can route hop onto the Bakerloo line and carry on to Elephant and Castle. But yeah, in terms of the West Coast Mainline, in terms of the Bakerloo line route itself, it doesn't yet have the 710 and the West Coast Mainline layers, but it is getting an update. So hopefully that will happen. Zona Ray Abyss. No, we're still going a little. We're still going for a little while. We're going to finish this scenario. We're going to go and do some guard moding. Brian Laughlin, how are we doing? Just had a go of West Coast Mainline myself on Xbox. You'd like the clickety-clack of the points and the vibrations on the control of it. Yeah, of course, because you get all the haptics. I know on PlayStation 5 controllers, because they've got like the light bars at the top of them, the light bars will light up depending on what colour your next signal is, which is pretty cool. So if you're approaching a red, it lights up red, and so on and so forth. God, only 2 bits of speeding. I'm getting better at this, you know. Okie dokie. Right, we are going to do some guard moding. Main menu, return to free roam replay. But before we do some guarding, I am just going to go and get myself a drink of juice because my throat is going. So give me a minute. You can time me. Give me a minute and we'll be right back into some guard moding. Right, we are back. We have throat lubrication. The pie train, yeah, there's no bug. I just to the bash slough. Okay, right, to the trains. So we are gonna do Frankfurt Fulda and have a little play on that, definitely, but just not today. UK Aviation Hub, you absolutely can. So we've got 8 scenarios on the West Coast Mainline South. Refreshing refurb. Set up and drive the first newly refurbished Class 390 from the sidings at Wembley to London Euston up the West Coast Mainline. Watford bypass. 390 Pendolino on the fast lines to Watford. Switch to the slow lines at Watford and follow busy traffic into Euston. That looks like an interesting one. Pend no lean no. Nice. 390 from Wembley sidings to London Euston, where you change and disable the tilting mechanism and drive to Milton Keynes Central at non-EPS speeds. Service saviour. High priority service into London has suddenly found itself without a driver, and you're the only driver qualified to operate those Class 350s available. To prevent travel disruption, you've been asked to leave your current service at Milton Keynes for another driver. Once you've arrived, finish the high priority passenger service to London Euston yourself. Football frenzy on the 350. Finally coming down from the excitement, passionate fans are gathering to take the trains home, but there aren't enough trains for all the fans. Assemble a service in the depot, then hurry to Wembley Central to get everyone home. Back in service, the Class 350 unit has just been through maintenance and it's ready to rejoin the fleet for active passenger services once again. Couple up to another Class 350 set and operate part of a passenger service to Milton Keynes in a full 12-car set. Heavy traffic. A commuter service to St Albans Abbey is in need of a Class 350 and you're just the driver for the job. Deliver an empty coaching stock service to the iconic Watford Junction station and watch out for the late night services on the busy main line. Carriage collector. Busy trains are needed for this morning's London service. Busy commuter trains are needed for this morning's London services. To help speed things along, you have been asked to assemble trains at both Wembley Train Care Depot and Euston Train Maintenance Depot to get them ready for their drivers. So there we go. That is our scenarios. Right, jumping on the 350. We're going to start this scenario at Milton Keynes once again. The reason we're going to start it at Milton Keynes is because there's a lot more stations at that end of the line. If we start it at Euston, we're going to be sitting around doing nothing, looking out the window until we get to our first station. So, like I said earlier, if you've got this little icon there, it means you can guard the train. Tring to London Euston. Yeah, let's jump on that. Get started. And we've got driver mode or conductor mode. We'll go into conductor mode. Pantograph has just gone up there. Right, so there are a few bugs with the conductor mode. My video on it says conductor mode and it's got something underneath it like, I can't remember what the thumbnail was, but saying like, is it ready? I don't get why we've got this kind of like weird 15 kilometres and all that going on up there, but never mind. First thing to note is, first 2 stations, you have got to do this perfectly, because if you don't do this perfectly, weird things happen. Right, I'm going to show you the weird things that happen. It's not broke. It was put to me, it's not broken, it's just a very wobbly path. Okay, now when I was saying I'm not going to hate on things for the sake of hating on things, I'm sticking to that, I'm not. But I'm also going to point out things that need to be pointed out. Right, guards key switch on. You're all going to like this. Release doors left. Everyone's getting on and off. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. Closed doors. And this might have been fixed. I might be making myself look really silly. Okay, maybe it's been fixed. Ignore that. What was happening previously is the train was just driving off without me. So let's do this properly this time. Right. Hopefully it has been fixed, which is pretty cool. Key on. It is really fussy about the order you do things in, though. You've got to kind of follow what it wants you to do. You can't just go rogue. See, now it's telling me, even though I've opened the passenger doors, it's telling me to unlock the guard door. It's really finicky with the way it works. So open local door. now open the passenger doors, even though we've already done that. You can't kind of just go like rogue on it and play it the way you want to play it. You've kind of got to go through the process and do it, and I just find that a little bit annoying. John McGlade, do you own the Suffragette line? If you don't, I don't know if you get the 710. I think you need to own the Suffragette line in order to get that. And it could be that you won't see it until the 17th. I'm not sure how it's working with content porting for content for this route. Okay, check the platform is clear. Lock the passenger doors. These passenger doors are closing. Right, the weird thing here is when you close the passenger doors, I would expect the body side indicator lights to go out, and they don't. So the coach that you're in, with your key, you should have a flashing light, which we have. See, the one at the back of the train has gone out, but the others haven't. So that's a little bit buggy. Lock the door controls. And then press the buzzer. And we are off. And it just says wait for the next stop. So do we not have any ticket checking to do? Oh, we've got absolutely no ticket checking to do either. Right. There are no passengers on here to check the tickets off. So, someone was saying you can turn the advice off. Let's give that a go. Yeah, we just have an empty train here. Yeah, Lewis Gates points out a really good point there. When you give 2 on the buzzer to the driver, you would expect the driver to give 2 back. So you go beep beep, and then the driver would go beep beep, and then set off. You don't get that. That's missing. I think that's something that needs to be fixed. So let's try going into options, settings. Is it player assist maybe? Is it the player assist that we want to look at? Maybe it's like the HUD or something. Yeah. Oh, guard mode control guide. It's its own option. There we go. Right, let's turn that off then. Let's put the stuff. What did I just turn off? Let's put the player assist back to its standard. Right, we'll wait for the next station. We'll do our dispatch and see how we get on. Did that option save? I don't know if that's saved because it hasn't gone off. HUD and gameplay. Did I save it? Yeah, guard control mode guide off. Okay. So we can sit in the passenger seat and look out the window. It does look pretty convincing. I think they've done a really good job of it. The pie train and real life guards sit in the rear cab watching Sky Sports. All controversial. All opinions are my own. Kenny buses and trains. Hello, how are you doing? I think for me, guard mode isn't something I'm going to spend a lot of time playing. I just don't think it's the way I like to play the game. I'm pleased we've got it, and I like the fact that you've got options. You know, you give players options. People like to do different things. But for me, kind of sitting here, looking out the window, checking tickets, it's not the way I like to enjoy the game. So I don't think I'm going to use guard mode a lot. But, you know, let me know. Let me know. They've obviously put it in for a reason, so there obviously is the player base there that wants it. Are you pleased to have this in game? Is this something you can see yourself playing a lot? You know, it's always interested to hear your opinions. Diamond, can you go in the rear cab as a guard? Yeah, we can walk up to the rear cab. You can't get in the toilets though. That's the next station, Berkhamsted. They're going to do it one day where you can get in the toilets. Hey Alex, welcome to Deborah, new subscriber. Great to have you here. I think the interior on this train looks pretty decent. Calling out Berkhamsted, Hemel Hempstead, Watford Junction. Okay, so it's not like a it's not like an all stations, this one. Yeah, okay, look at that. That's some really buggy stuff going on with the camera there. We can just sit in the back cab and stare out the window. The Pete W, again, as a software engineer, you get asked to implement guard mode. How can it be accepted? It is so bad, so poor, that you can say this is a feature done. It's obviously not. Pete, I don't disagree. I think this needs a little bit more work doing on it. I genuinely do. I don't think it's game ready yet. Sim Aviation, I'm looking forward to playing guard mode. I think it just adds more longevity to the route with the different modes. Ashley Smashy, I feel like I'll do guard mode when I want to be on the train, but not in the mood to drive it. Streedy123, is there actually a driver in the front cab? There certainly should be. Once we've done this station stop, we'll go down and have a look. For me, guard mode is primarily the means to learn the other side of what I'm supposed to do as a driver and what I'm not. But overall, I enjoy it less than driving. Red FZMK805 on TikTok. On the 17th of September, you'll be able to download it for free from Steam or on console. Oh, and it done this to me the other day. I'm kind of locked in, can't get out. Right, it's still giving me the guide on the top of the screen, which is really irritating. So unlock the door controls. Let's do it from here. It won't let me do it. It won't let me do it from the cab. I've got to go. Apparently after the first 2 stations it will let you do it. Apparently the first 2 has got to be done right. I've got to come here. See? Unlock the guard door. Open local door. Check that the train's on the platform, which it all is. Open the doors. We should have some tickets to check now, hopefully, as well. Loading, loading. And the other thing we haven't got is we haven't got a whistle. We should have a whistle. You should be able to press your horn button and the guard blows a whistle. Prepared to depart. I've turned this off in the settings. You saw me turn off the guard mode assist as well. So I just don't think this is right. Where are we? Closed doors. There we go. I mean, where did those people come from? They've kind of just spawned down the end of the platform. Body side indicator lights, yeah, not working as they should do. Close local door. Oh no. And then 2 on the buzzer, but we don't get it back. You do need to give 2 as well. If you only give 1. Right. Check passenger tickets before the next stop. Tickets remaining, 36. Okay, so it is the 4th of June today, apparently. In-game. Hemel Hempstead, Watford Junction, London Euston. From Berkhamsted to... Is that valid? I don't think it is, no. We've got to move bags out the way. Just sort of slide them out the way. I'm in a good mood today. We're just going to tell everyone that their tickets are valid. I mean, if you want to do it properly, you know, and go through and sort of double check it all. Berkhamsted to London Euston. Euston. You're absolutely fine. Could you please move your 2 bags that are clipping into each other? You're all good. Thank you very much. So when you go for... If you decide to get a job on the railway and you go for a platform position, which is where I originally started, they send you to the assessment centre and you have to do various different tests to kind of test your ability for the role. And one of the tests you will do is ticket checking. And they'll kind of give you some fake tickets. They'll give you a sheet with lots of fake tickets on it and kind of tell you are on this is the date, this is the time, and you go through the tickets and sort of mark off whether they're valid. You have to check whether they're peak or off peak, whether they're valid for the station, the time and stuff. So you get pretty quick at it. 4th of June, you're good. You're good. Hello. Yeah, you're good. We're just... Greenie, stay by your local door until you have left the platform. Yeah, you absolutely are supposed to do that. So I never worked as a conductor, but when I originally trained to become a passenger driver, we had to know how to conduct. So we did do a couple of conducting turns, but I was never officially competent as a conductor. But capacity to London, Euston, 4th of June, you're good. You're good. Everyone's got tickets. You're absolutely fine. Don't think we're going to get them all done. We're going to have to come back. Moving bags out the way. I just think this gets a little bit tedious, maybe. I'm just clicking away now. I'm just clicking away. I wondered if they'll add off-peak, peak and off-peak. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Someone was asking about a driver in the front. They're not actually interacting with the controls, but yeah, we do have a driver sitting in the front. Let's see if we can dispatch from the back cab this time. I'm told after like the 2nd or 3rd station you should be able to do it. There's something about like it's got to be correct for the first couple of stations. Load passengers, unlock doors. Okay, yeah, so it was coming up earlier like put key on it. Now it just says unlock doors. So let's yeah, so now it's working from the back cab where it wasn't before. Kenny P, is there only one conductor per train? Some trains will have two. If you take like the class 395 Javelins, you can't walk between the units, so you'll have one in each section. Right, lock doors. Close our local door. Press the buzzer. Driver's gone to sleep. Key off. Press the buzzer. No, we can't do that. We've got to go back to the doors panel. Although it's let us do everything else, we've got to go back to the door panel to get the train to go. It's just like it's buggy. It's buggy. It's just like it's irritatingly buggy, and then we've got like this 15 up here which absolutely means nothing, and if we click on the timetable we don't get any times that we're supposed to arrive at stations, and this is just a feature that I can't get behind in its current form. Like I say, I don't think it's something I'm going to particularly enjoy in game. We've got it in game, and I'm pleased we've got it. You know, the more playability we've got, great. I'm all for that. But in its current form, this is just, yeah, okay. Does anyone want to see any more of guard mode, or should we jump in? Wardle wants to do a 66. We are going to do a drive in the 350. Does anyone want to see any more guard mode, or should we just move on? Let me know in the chat. Adam loves trains. Is guard mode buggy? Yes. Let me know. The stutter is terrible. That could just be the stream, because my game looks okay. It could just be my internet connection, which is a little bit dodgy. Yeah, Wallman says move on. Chris, to the best of your knowledge, to be honest, Chris, I'm in the beta forums for Train Sim World, and there's a lot of railway staff in there, and they do consult and they do speak to people. So yeah, they absolutely do. Yes, more guard, 390 walk around. Rob, I've just gone to the guard panel on the 390. It looks like the guard mode is activated. So it's not showing up in the timetable mode, Rob, but you possibly can get to it on free roam. We can have a look at that. I tell you what, we're going to jump into the... Have I got the 66 installed? We'll do a little bit. We are going to drive the 350 as well. You've probably got me for about another 45 to an hour, guys, if you can put up with me for that much longer, because we have been going for like 2.5 hours. So, and there's still 131 of you lovely people here, which is fantastic. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Right, to the trains. London Euston, timetable mode. 66. I don't know if the 66 has had any updates to it, because I am not a fan of the 66 in this game. I've made that quite clear before. I'm not a fan of the 66. Bletchley to Holston Junction. We probably won't end up doing a full run because I do want to do the 350. Daventry to Tilbury, Milton Keynes to Euston. Let's jump on that one. Let's keep the dynamic weather turned on. Uh, 390 guards panel. FMG footballer. No, the game is stutter. Mine is stuttering. Okay, no worries. Yeah, the 66 doesn't even have a GSMR radio on it, which is standard on all trains for about the last 10 years or so, or maybe not quite that long. The 66 just isn't very good. We'll go a little couple of stations down just so we get a bit of a taste of it. I'm not going to drive the whole of it. And it's telling us we can do 90 there. The maximum speed on a 66 is 75, and this is probably this is a class 4, so maximum speed is 75 miles an hour. Right, let's... Right, isolation switches up. Straight air on, charge the brake up. Brake pipe charges way too quickly. I'm not going to just go on about the 66 because I've spoken about the 66. I'm on one of these every day of the week, so day running. Instrument lights we want on, tail lights off. Desk lights we don't want on, they can be off. Parking brake is on off. It's a really buggy graphic there on the parking brake. Let's put that around to off. Okay, what have we got on? I'm on day running on my lights, but on the outside I've got no lights. That's really interesting. Right, what have we got on the train? Let's go and have a little look. We are containers. And we're long containers. Lewis Gates, yeah, 66 definitely looks better in blue. Yeah, so it's already a little bit broken on the 66. Right, okay. Notch 3 and my amps around at 6,000. It's not going to happen. And I have not put me train length in, and I have not put me safety systems on either, so... We won't worry about your DSD, let's get that on. Sim Aviation, how did you do the train length in a 66? Right, so... We are 421 yards, so... what does it want it in? So, train length. It wants it in feet, so 421 yards is about 1,200 feet. So, press enter, put 1,200... Press enter again, and that is done. In real life, on these, they add 10% to it. So if I put 1,200 in, it will add 10% to that. So it will give me 1,320. It kind of gives you a little bit of leeway in it. Some weird sound bugs going on as well with the 66. The thing is, the 66 is the backbone of British freight, and it's, you know, it goes on every single, I think every single UK modern image route that we've got. The 66 features on. So why not do something with it? Why not make it better? Why not fix out these dodgy sound issues and change the modelling on it? And yeah, I'm going to stop ranting about the 66. The EM2000 is pretty cool because they do have the data meter screen in here as well, which gives you your so this engine's pulling out 3,200 horsepower. I've never seen one pull out more than about 3,000. KW reference should go to 2100 maximum. That 22, I've no idea what's going on with that. MG stat none, that means we're not moving. I know I'm being pedantic, but I don't like the 66 in game. And there seems to be an issue with the headlights as well. Apparently I'm cycling through lights there. Okay, they kind of see the top one lighting up a little bit. Oh, so we actually started north of Milton Keynes. That's interesting. Yeah, Ludwig Towers, we should totally get another freight loco. I quite agree. Wardle, can you check the wipers don't work properly, please? This is how great 66s are, guys. You have to lean over to get your wipers. Right, we've got a sound effect where we've got no moving wipers. You know, I said earlier I'm not going to hate for the sake of hating, but this is bad. Let's try it again. Okay, that one works. It is realistic, because realistically, the wipers in 66s are terrible, so... But I've got wiper sound effects. Yeah, that really needs fixing. That really does need fixing. That's not good. My pass or goods light, neither of those are lit up. There's a... Yeah, 66 not good. 66 not good. $66 really not good. Okay, does anyone mind if we bail out and go and do a 350? Does anybody have any objections to bailing out? I would like to jump out of this 66. Show the outside view, Fernando's. We can do that. I mean, the outside model looks pretty decent. If we're being honest, let's get down a little bit and do a flyby shot. Have we got any stations coming up? There must be a station around here. We'll do a flyby shot and then we'll no suffer. Oh, there's a station. Is this... oh, this is Bletchley, isn't it? Hopefully it's not going to get routed into the sidings there or anything. Oh, there comes our train. Okay. Right, let's get a flyby shot as it comes through Bletchley, and then we're... I'm bailing out
personal belongings with you at all times. Any unattended baggage will be removed and may be destroyed by security services.
It's coming. It's on its way. It's on its way. Wardle, yeah, you can control the points. Yeah, or when you do like shunting turns and stuff, you've got hand points in yards that you can play around with. Lewis, I'll save that question for another day, or ask me a bit later on, because that's quite a lengthy explanation. Right, we're bailing out of the 66. The 66 needs work. I'm bailing out honourably. Trainsport from Berkshire would like a class 90. I would agree. Class 90, and if we're going to get a 90, let's have that North London line. Let's have the Greater Anglia right up to Felixstowe as well. So much you could do. When you start route jumping, there's so much you can do. Right, okay, so the only thing we haven't really done on this stream is I tell you what we will do very quickly, because somebody said about the guards panel on the 390. Let's quickly check that out. 24/7 trains, we've done a 390 service. Why have we got a route hopping option at London Euston? What? I can hop from London Euston to London Victoria. Okay, I'm not going to hate for the sake of hating. I did say that. And there's never a Pendolino around when you need one. That's actually most annoying. I tell you what, let's just spawn one in, because I just want to check this guards panel that somebody was saying about. So let's just like spawn in a Pendolino. Let's get far enough up the platform so we can do it. Oh, there we go. Hey, Surveillance Pigeon 2407, welcome. Hello. Right, we're just going to check out the... I don't know where the conductor panel is in this, but we'll just have a little look at it. Because we haven't got conductor mode working natively, but that's not to say that it's never going to work. Okay, interesting. So, driver opens the doors on these, and half light switch. Does that work? Don't know, maybe we need a driver's key on or something. Okay, so you can get to the panel. It's not guard mode is not available for the 390. I don't think that works. It's not available for the 390 in sort of the timetable mode, but you can get to the guards panel, so you can possibly do it in free roam mode. That could possibly be a thing, which is pretty cool. Right, let's jump out of that. Let's do a northbound run on the 350. And then I think we'll call it a night. Ashy Smashy, you can route hop to any London station from you. Oh, okay. That's the way they've done it. Right, so choose a route. Let's jump on the 350. Let's have a little run on the 350. Coventry to London Euston. Now we want to do a northbound run this time. London Euston to Crewe. That's going to be London Euston to Tring. That will absolutely do us. 6:50 in the morning. Let's put it on foggy. Let's do it as a driver. Let's have a run on the 350, and then it'll be about midnight then. So that's bedtime. It's been a long day. Even the guard's operation panel looks plasticky, not liking the interior of the 390 outside. Yeah, no, I mentioned that earlier, Chris. I don't think the 390 interior looks particularly great at all. Yep. Right, we're 4-car. We're at London Euston. Where are we stopping? Harrow and Wealdstone, Watford Junction, Hemel, Berkhamsted and Tring. So we get a good few station stops on this. The 350 I think is pretty decent. It's nice. Again, it's a nice train that drives well. The Desiro. We've got some really weird lighting effects going on at Euston though. I'm not sure what's going on with the lighting in my cab and bits and bobs there. Right, so safety systems in is the first thing we're going to do. And yep, they are all in. There's no trip switches or anything that we need to do. So I have kind of done a deep dive into all these trains and stuff on the actual videos on the channel. So you can go and check those out if you want to. And it doesn't talk to us because we've got no TPWS Mark IV on this. That is as we would expect. And our light control is down there. So daylight. GSMR, same functionality that we've got on all of them, which is very limited. So although that's registered at the moment to Tango 05, that'll probably go off at some point because it's just a little bit buggy. Right, unlocking doors on the left. With 6:52 departure. We can click up here to see the TMS again. Really nice. I'm liking that. Lighting, interior lighting. Oh crikey, where are we? Lighting on. There we go. We should probably do that. Air conditioning. So you've got a few options and bits and bobs around you can play in there, but there's nothing really kind of nothing of any interest. I suppose the only other thing we might want to do is like driver ID number. So you can put my credit card number in there or something like that. So you got an enter. Yeah, it's a bit weird the kind of way it all works, but it doesn't really have any sort of major functionality. Right, lock doors. Agent B7, no worries. Thank you for joining us. And we're off to Harrow and Wealdstone. See, the body side indicator lights have gone off, which is what we would expect. They don't do that in guard mode. So it's definitely something in guard mode which is a little bit buggy. Yeah, definitely some weird... I haven't got my cab light turned on, have I? No, some weird, really weird lighting effects going on there. Right, going out into C section. Let's drop a little bit of brake and bring that down to 25. Nick on TikTok, what's the UK route on the new game? It is West Coast Mainline South, London Euston to Milton Keynes. It's pretty decent. The route is pretty decent. Oh, Wardle did lots of my route learning in a 350. How did you find them being up the front? Right, we're good for 50. Let's get it going. Surveillance pigeon. I'm curious, why does some EMU such as this one make the strange noise when departing? That's just the noise of the traction motor. So the Siemens built units such as this and the Thameslink 700s, the City Desiros, have all kind of got these really weird traction motor noises. They sound a bit like flying saucers. Right, we're good for 50. We can give it a little bit more power, although there is a 40 coming up. See if we can get a run with like very limited speeding. I say very limited because I think I've already had some. Wardle restorations. I realised I can't stand the small windows and grateful. You can see all around on the 66. Yeah, Wardle, I come from driving Electrostars, so 375s, 377s, and I completely get that. And you get on a 66 and you've got that massive, great big window, and it is lovely. Uh, 323 465 traction motors are God tier. Chris, yes, absolutely yes. They sound like Formula 1 cars. I think they're awesome. Maka 2610, is this available for PlayStation 5? Absolutely is. Won't release until the 17th of September, but yes, you can get it on PlayStation 5. Right, we're good for 75. Let's get this thing going. Yeah, Upsiders, we just done a bit of guard moding on here, and it's exactly the same. I'm not massively impressed with guard mode. I think it needs a little bit more work. Three Seasons Ice, so this is the deluxe version of Train Sim World 5, so that's why I've got the Pendolino on here as well. Chris, is someone that signs 323s, it's amazing to hear but can get annoying with WSP. Yeah, they kind of got that weird sort of funky slipping sound, haven't they? I'm definitely a fan of the route though, and the way it looks. And both trains that come with it, I think, are great. One of the things that a lot of people tend to complain about is sounds, and I haven't really heard anyone sort of complaining too loudly about sounds on either of them. So if you are if you are familiar with either train, really, let me know what you think of the sounds. I've travelled on both, sort of not extensively, but to me they sound pretty decent. The Pie Train, I found a nice 87-page manual on the Chisholm. Oh, going to be an awesome mod I'm making. Nice. Look forward to it. Surveillance Pigeon, I think you've put that beautifully. Guard mode is a really good concept, but poorly executed. It's got potential. I just think it needs a little bit more work. Hey, Pete00136, how are you doing? Good evening. David, I mainly play Flight Sim, but why do I get addicted to every simulator out there? Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been through them all. Three Seasons Ice Davrails is the new Trains and Guard available with just getting the standard version. So if you get the standard version, which is the free upgrade, you'll get the new core features. So you will get guard mode on the compatible route. So if you've got Blackpool branches, Birmingham Cross City, Great Western Express, once that is... Look, we've got weird lighting things going on. The weird lighting things in the tunnel is a known bug. There is going to be a day one patch. Possibly out already. There's going to be a patch to fix that. Yeah, so you will get the guard mode and stuff on the existing routes that you own, but you won't if you want the Pendolino and the West Coast Mainline. That's a paid DLC. I thought it was, Bud. How you doing, Spud? Right, so we're just passing underneath the North London lines, coming up towards Wembley. There's a McVitie's factory over on the left-hand side. It smells of biscuits every time you come through here. David, have you spotted any of the new licensed aircraft? Yeah, in Frankfurt Fulda I did. So we haven't done it on stream yet, and I haven't done any content on it, but I did do Frankfurt Fulda, and absolutely, yeah, I did spot some of the new aircraft on there. So Frankfurt Fulda, we're going to do in a separate stream. That is a really nice route. I like that route because it transitions between PZB and LZB, back to PZB, back to LZB. So you kind of get, a little bit of 200 km/h running. And the Vectron's a really nice train, and it's really nice to have that on passenger services and be able to stretch its legs. HC9473, hello, how you doing? Oh, I hope they're treating you well down there, Spud. Robert Lilly, yeah, you do have to check the tickets in guard mode, and you have to move people's bags out the aisles as well. Yeah, through Susan's Eyes, if you want the new routes and trains, they are paid DLC, so you'll need to buy those separately. Kitty Colbum, I drive trains all day. Going home to do this would just do my head in. I know what you're saying. I've got to the stage now. We've been streaming for nearly 3 hours, and I'm at the stage now where I've had enough now. Which is why like we're doing this run, and I've had enough. Little bit of break there for the 75. 3.5 miles out of Harrow and Euston. As we come through Wembley Central. Where are you off to with that, Spud? Ashley Smashley, good question, random question, but when you're driving, do your eyes naturally focus on the outside window, and do you have to look down at the speedometer, or can you focus on both at the same time? Now, you'd be looking out the window and kind of glancing at the speedo as you go along, but you do sort of get... You have a good perception of speed, and you can kind of judge your speed by looking out the window, so it's not like you're sort of constantly looking at the speedo. I mean, in train sim, like when I'm driving this now, I'm constantly looking at the speedo to see what I'm doing, because you've got no feedback, you've got no sense of motion or sense of inertia, so your only reference to speed you've got is by looking at the speedo. But when you're driving a train in real life, you can feel if you're speeding up or slowing down. You can hear things, you know, you've got more immersion. So you're sort of not looking at it as much as what you are when you're playing train sim. And you sort of know what the gradients are doing, because you've got your route knowledge. You know where the train's going to speed up. You know where it's going to slow down. It's just a really different experience. You're not sort of on the speedo all the time. Right, 1.9 miles from Harrow and Euston. On a slight uphill gradient. I've just shut back the power there. We've got a few, well, minute and a bit, 2 minutes before we're due in there, so no rush. Let the train take the strain. Driving economically. Oh, New Haven. I haven't been there for a little while. Typical Nathan, yeah, I will absolutely stream the 11 branch when that releases. 24/7 trains, thanks very much for joining. So, although we've been going for, we're just approaching 3 hours, there's still 102 of you lovely people in. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button, consider subscribing, that would be awesome. And we're up to 3,814 views on TikTok and 4,695 likes. So, thank you to everyone who's joining us over on the TikTok. Long story short, T769 job caped. Asked to lodge take go. Why not? I hope they got you somewhere nice down there, mate. You need the one at the airport. Wardle usually do my running brake test through Harrow and Euston. Harrison Taylor Cole, how well will it run on PS4? I've never played it on PS4, so I'm not sure, but I'm sure there is someone in the chat that can absolutely answer that question. And we've got Harrow and Euston, we've got that double AWS thing. Wardle, while you're here, when you go through Harrow and Euston, do you get 2 pings on the AWS? Because every time we've gone through here, we've had that. So is that something that's a fault in real life that needs fixing, or is that just a bug in the game? Have they replicated a real life fault? Doors on the left. Hey, Northern Princess Productions. Hello, how you doing? How's your day been? TSW5 is not showing as available for me yet. Interesting. If you got the deluxe version, then you should have it, I would have thought. Especially if you're doing it on Steam. Wardle Restoration. No, just the one. There we go. Confirmation. The Harrow and Wheelstone double AWS is a gamey bug. Oh, good, Northern Princess. You've got it now. Nice one. Peppa Pig Kids. Oh, I was there last week on the Work Social Peppa Pig World. It was a good day out. Where's the starting signal, mate? I saw a banner repeater. Starting signal just ahead of us there. Martin Newell on TikTok just joined. What train and route is this? So we're on the West Coast Mainline South, London Euston to Milton Keynes for Train Sim World 5, and we're currently driving the Class 350 Desiro. We're taking this up to Tring, and that is going to be us for the night. If you want to see kind of more in-depth reviews of the Train Sim World 5 content that's come out, the Pendolino, the Guard mode, the Lioness line, the 710 DC lines, then all of those videos are live on the channel. Had a really nice day. Just been to see. I think that's is that Romeo and Juliet. It just says and Juliet. I'm assuming that's Romeo and Juliet. 10 out of 10 night. Nice one. Right, we're off to Watford Junction, 5.7 miles. HC9473. I work with a certain company out of Euston. I will say the Class 390s do sound a bit odd at times, especially when accelerating and coasting. Kind of hard to tell as I'm normally inside and not outside. That's good to hear. Through Susan's Eyes, I'm not entirely sure. If you get the standard version, I believe you get the 350, but you don't get the Pendolino. Northern Princess Productions and Juliet. It's its own show on tour in Sunderland. Right? Oh, you've been to Sunderland. My apologies. Aviation Geek Train Sim World 5 is out. If you ordered the deluxe version of Train Sim World 5, then you got early access from today. It will the standard release is on the 17th of September. So in a week's time. Wardle struggled to get over 40 by the time I get to Harrow with 2,000 tonnes behind. Then it slows down as you climb to Tring Summit. The pie train. Slough and Sunderland bashing in one stream. What a treat. Well, they both begin with S. I was shed bashing as well earlier. That begins with an S. See, Robert Lilly, there you go. You can't get a better testimonial than that. As a Slough local, I agree how bad it is. You see, Robert, there's another 66 with no headlights on. I mean, does it affect my enjoyment of the game that these things are bugged? No, it doesn't. Is it annoying, being that, you know, I mean, I haven't paid money for it. Fortunately, Dovetail have given me this free of charge. But is it annoying that you pay money for things that's buggy? Yes, it is. Sunderland Station seems cool. It's like an underground. Oh, nice. Sign you off for these in crew plan. No. Memes, have you ever been to Stroud? I haven't, no. Wardle, you can get GBRF locos on what they call the Creators Club, which is like community-made content, like the 66 reskinned. But Dovetail Games don't have a license. There's a 90 there. Dovetail Games don't have a license to use GBRF livery, so there's no kind of official GBRF stuff in game. It would be pretty cool though. It would be pretty cool. A tradesman for Berkshire, Davrow, what do you think of Staines? Nobody's going to get this reference, are they? Me Julie! No, nobody's going to get that reference because I'm older than I think I am. Right, 1.6 miles from Watford Junction. My energy levels are starting to drop. You might have noticed. This is good practice for the Children in Need 24-hour live stream. Date to be announced. We raised quite a bit of money. I think it was like £2,500 last year. So we are absolutely doing that again this year. Date to be announced. This is good endurance practice. Jungle is massive. Oh no, the pie train, it's not only fools and horses, it's a bit more modern than that. Yeah. Oh, Spud, you would. Robert Lilly, I tell people I am from Windsor rather than Slough, sounds better. Right, so we got the brakes in for Watford Junction already. Right, where's photo mode? You know, I said I wasn't going to hate for the sake of hating. Okay, that does have an arrow on it pointing to the left, to be fair. I was just about to say that that signal should be showing proceed because it becomes what's known as a running dummy or running ground position light. But it does have an arrow pointing to the left, which it implies that it applies to the line on the left. But that's a bit... That's a little bit nasty, that is. Mike Kieran, you're on my patch live in Watford. Work on the Watford panel. Nice. So you've probably signalled Wardle restorations through a few times. This is Wardle's sort of core route, if you like. I thought we were having a pretty decent approach there, and I've had to whack a load of braking at the last minute. Mike, can I make some complaints? This could go south very quickly. Oh, we're a whole minute early. Look at that. 4 on the 4. Try not to stop on the AWS magnet. That can cause all sorts of drama. And unlocking the doors. We'll do an outside pull away from Watford. I do genuinely. I said this earlier. Watford Junction is looking superb in game. I think it's absolutely bang on. I really do. Right. Okay. Where are we stopping? We've got Hemel, Empstead, and Tring at 7:31. So we've got about 20 minutes of gameplay left, and we'll be off. Northern Brisbane, a minute early. Have you been notch 5 driving again? I always want to use... Railway enthusiasts on platforms make me happy. I'm surprised they haven't got Francis in game. That would be really cool. I think just sort of having... You know, you can have that as like a collectible, couldn't you? You know, spot Francis. You can have Francis on a random bridge. That would be so cool. I'm gonna suggest that to Dovetail. I think that would be a really, really, really cool feature to have. Right, let's have an outside pull away. Oh, someone's starting their car. Flying saucer noises. With a Pendolino flying through the other side there. Dadrail would like a 319 for the Brighton Mainline and West Coast Mainline in train sim world. A third generation EMU like a 319 would be lovely. I absolutely agree with you. 319 would be superb. Aviation Geek, how do I get this for free? 17th of September. Check out Steam or whatever store you use for your console. Jake, is there Great Western Railway trains in Trainsim World 5? In Trainsim World, you've got the Great Western Express route, which is London Paddington to Reading. That's got Great Western HSTs and 166s. It's not based in current day, so it doesn't have the cucumbers. I forgot what the official name for them is, the 800s. We do have 387s in game as well, so you can re-livery those. There are like liveries you can download it in Great Western and run those on that route. Where are we? Northern Princess Productions, the environment art team, hide a donkey in every route. Do they? I didn't know that. I'm going to have to start looking out for it. I think I used to live in... it's a story about 319. Well, not a story about 319s, but... Growing up, I lived in Eastbourne, and having an interest in railways and living in Eastbourne is unfortunate. Because all we ever had were like... there's a 70 there. I'm better in real life, I promise. All we ever had was like 41 SIGs coming into Eastbourne. It was really limited. The occasional thumper. So we you know, this is sort of mid 90s, early 2000s. We really didn't have anything in the way of variety in rolling stock. So the first kind of power door stock I went on was a 319. I had a little bit of freedom and I headed over to Brighton. Like, yeah, we're going for a day out in Brighton, but of course it was like, how far can I push my ticket to Brighton? Go via Hayward Heath and do a 319 from Hayward Heath down to Brighton. So, yeah, I didn't get the number. I don't do numbers, but Thameslink City Flyer service. Who remembers that? Back in the days. It's amazing. This is going to sound really bad, but it's amazing how much route learning I managed to do as a kid, just listening to station announcements and learning routes from station announcements. My train to school in the morning used to go to Littlehampton. You know, I don't sign the route, but I know all the stations on the West Coast Way because my school train used to go there and I'd hear it every day. So you just kind of pick things up and learn it. Just because I just listen to the announcements. Water restorations, right, I'm off. Hopefully hand over a train to you again sometime. No worries, bud. You take care of yourself. Thanks for joining us. Pete, this is so realistic. I hope you're not referring to my speeding there. It does look pretty good, though. Ludwig Tale, since it's getting late now and I'll be having my first ever ride on Class 2 in the Midland Mainline, I'm ahead off now. It was fun watching you play. Hope we meet again someday. No worries, but thanks for joining me and thanks for staying around nearly until the end. Hope you enjoy the 222 tomorrow, and it was good to see you at Brighton Station earlier on. Hope the video came out okay. Train from Berkshire, Deborah, how was the first train into the new Ashfield Yard? It was all good. It was all good. We've proven the track. We've proved that it all works. So yeah, all good. Both. Yeah, it's the graphics on this and the gameplay are probably actually better than what we've got on the proper training simulators. I think it is good. I have to say the Pendo flying by in Watford tricked my brain into this is real for about half a second. Right, we've got 0.9 miles to the station and we're still doing 90. We should probably think about getting some braking. Ashley Smashley, I've memorised the whole of the Wirral line because it's my local route. Just jumping on trains for years means I can name every station. That's just the way it happens. Pie Train, are you going to collab with Asheville? You never say never, but I doubt it. Ludwig Towers, absolutely, yeah, go for it. Yeah, there's definitely some AWS issues in this because that's like the second or third time we've had double AWSs. everyone's going to spill their coffee. Try not to stop on the magnet. And you always want to stop on a rising brake as well to give the passengers a nice smooth stop. Although, quality of my driving, I think we've gone beyond that.
Emergency cord, as this may delay help reaching you.
Oh, that's a good idea, Spud. Get him on the channel for children in need. Actually, do you know what? That's genuinely a good idea. I might try and do that. Michael Kemp, are we nearly there yet? We absolutely are. I'm ready for bed. We're at Hemel Hempstead. We've got Berkhamsted in 5 minutes' time, and then Tring at 7:31. So we're about 10 minutes away. The Pie Train. I've learnt my local route from playing Train Sim, so it's quite fun riding that route in real life, seeing how the driver drives one. Robert Lilly, since the tree incident mentioned on all the stations, have you had any more situations like that? Oh, good question. I smashed into some, not quite as extreme as that, but I managed to smash into something hanging down from a bridge on the Sutton Loop a couple of weeks ago and smashed the windscreen on a Class 73. That was a fun day, interesting day. But yeah, not quite to that extreme. I haven't, no. They seem to have got the sound on the passing trains quite well, because that's always something in the past that's not been quite right. So they do seem to have got those sounds on the passing trains are pretty decent now. And I'm a bit sort of with the AI traffic. I don't know if there's enough or not. I think on kind of like the DC lines and the Bakerloo line, I don't think there's enough AI traffic on it. But the sort of mainline stuff seems to be pretty good. Right, Berkhamsted, 3.4 miles. Max, how many days on off do you do? So that is completely and utterly, there is no kind of set roster pattern. So like we're contracted to do a 4-day week, but it could be like some weeks you do 5-6 days, some weeks you do 2 days. It sort of depends on the roster really. So we don't kind of do like a 4 on 4 off or anything like that. I do just wonder, because we got a Desiro in game now. I'm really hoping we see some sort of southwestern route. I don't think we'll see something out of Waterloo. I think another London route's probably not on the cards at the moment. But I don't know, maybe like the Southampton to Weymouth section or something like that would be pretty cool. Ashley, is the vigilance going off at the station a bug? It's not. The reason the vigilance is going off is because I haven't put the reverser into neutral. So all the time the reverser's in forward, that it's going to trigger the vigilance. Still no physics on the phone cable. Robert Lilly, I'd never noticed that before, but yeah, you're quite right. Could be sort of swaying around or something. There's no wires on those pylons as well. We had this in 5 Circle. Pylons with no wires. It's electricity coming soon. Pending connection. We know all about that at the moment. Hey, Callum McCabe, how are you doing? So what I need to do in time is just come into this route and kind of spend a bit more time playing it and driving it and trying to get some solid braking points. You sort of want your braking points, so you can put about 50-60% brake in and just leave it and not touch it and stop right in the right place. If you can do that every time, that's good driving. It's efficient driving as well. You keep time. Although we don't seem to have much problem keeping time at the moment. The timetable seems to be quite loose. Using 100% brake coming into stations. Please stop. I think that was possibly missing a 4-car mark there as well at here at Berkhamsted. This is our penultimate station on what has been a bumper live stream. It's been really enjoyable. Right, unlocking on the left. Okay, let's have a little look. So, oh no, I think it's there. Yeah, 3 to 5, so it's not missing. It's a. Did anyone else just see that? Not just me then. Passengers disappearing and clipping through. It's almost like a Rivet Games route. Dare I say that? All opinions are my own and all that. GJ, these pylons have been upgraded to wireless. It's the Tesla model, yeah. Was it Nicholas Tesla who was experimenting with like wireless transmission of electricity and stuff back in the day? It's magic, yeah. Ashley, you're quite right. It's just magic. Callum, how do train drivers learn braking points? It'd be part of your route knowledge, Callum. It's just knowledge passed down from driver to driver. So I've closed my doors. It's still going to make me wait. Hey, Ben, welcome to Dabrail.
For your safety and comfort, this station operates a no smoking policy.
And we are off to Tring, where this service will terminate. GJ, I think it was Tesla. Yeah, Stripey Dog Do. It was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment. David, on my Xbox there were passengers sinking into the platform at Harrow and Wealdstone. So there's definitely a few issues that need fixing. Ben, I kind of wish the schedules were less padded because it adds a little bit more of a challenge when driving to timetable. My biggest issue with train sim games in general is the amount of green signals we're running on. I mean, how many yellows have we seen? We're going to see one in a minute because we're getting near the terminus. When you're driving in real life, even on passenger trains, you will not be driving on green signals all day. When we've done the train driver's eye view with the live commentary, you've seen on there, you know, it's yellow constantly. It's really rare that you're going to spend all day. I mean, Pendolinos and stuff, you might get really good runs, but like coming out of Euston and stuff, the chances of you running on yellows all the way is just, it's so slim. I mean, you get times when, dare I say it, signallers, you know, they're using the toilet or whatever else and just forget to pull the signal and you get checked down for no reason. So one of the things is, you know, there's far too many green signals in game. Now removed from crew plan. 2 yellows, commentary driving. The other thing I would really like to see in a future version of Train Sim is dynamic events happening. The game's too predictable. Like we're driving along, we know exactly what's going to happen. It's too predictable. So having, like, you know, more random signalling events. Emily's popping up there on my screen. Having more sort of random signalling events, you know, getting checked down onto reds and the signals coming off for no reason. Hello, Shigeru. I don't speak whatever language that is, but hello and welcome. Yeah, having those random events, having like 1 yellow, temporary speed restrictions, emergency speed restrictions appearing randomly, having signal failures, so you get talked past signals at danger, you know, randomly, having emergency speed restrictions temporary, we just done that one, P-way staff at the side of the track appearing, and you got to blow your horn and they, you know, they put their hand up. Stuff like that would just make the game that much more interesting, give it that much more immersion, just those kind of random dynamic events. That's something I'd really like to see in a future version of the game. Is the TPWS going to fire off? Because we are hammering up to this signal. I think we might be alright. And 20 over the magnet is what we're going for. That will depend on your company's individual operating instructions. 1 yellow, position 4. Metallic, hello mate. Trainee here, currently on 70 hours out of my 230. Loving the job. Fantastic. Great to hear it, mate. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. Is it... Obviously, don't say anything that's going to jeopardise your company's social media policy, but passenger freight, whereabouts in the country are you? Ben, the Brighton Mainline can get quite busy towards London Victoria, I find. Certainly does in real life, more so than it does in game, but yeah, you're right. Right, we're on 1 yellow, red ahead, it's at the end of the platform coming into Tring. And we had the route indicator on the previous one, so we're 40 through the points. And we are red ahead, so I am absolutely hammering up to these signals. I would not advise driving like this in real life. We've got an offside door release here at Tring. Says get some braking. I'm not spadding the last signal of the day because I was reading the chat. Although to be fair, the game still wants me to go forward another 6 yards before I stop, which is far too close. Right, okay, full service brake, DRA on and into neutral. Depends on your company's instructions, but it's good practice to get up out the seat and open the doors on the offside. Oh, GJ's done a translation. The last message, Railway Lover. Railway Lover Shigari. Sorry, I think that's pronounced. Channel Train Sim. Nice. Thank you, GJ. Metallic Passengers Midlands don't really want to say more than that. Penciled in for pass out. Yeah, no worries, mate. That's absolutely brilliant. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. I don't like the fact he likes us to lock the doors before we can finish the scenarios up either. I think that's really annoying. Lots of speeding. Still managed to platinum medal though. We're absolutely going to take that. It's a platinum medal. Desiro Drive, Richie, would you like to see more out-of-course scenarios then? I would like to see the out-of-course stuff happening in timetable mode, if I'm being honest. We've got the scenarios. I've very rarely touched them because, I mean, you've got like 8 scenarios. You're going to get pretty bored of them pretty quickly. I would like to see that dynamic stuff in the timetable mode. Just stuff that you're going to see on a day-to-day basis. Random TSRs and ESRs appearing. P-way staff that put their hand up. You know, random signalling events. I just think that would... It would give you something to look out the window for as you're driving along, as opposed to just looking at the, oh, I've got 2 miles to my next station, let's just go. It would actually give you something to focus on and a sort of reason to play the game. Mr. Quicko Gaming doesn't have a blinking interlock light, means it's got no guard on it then. Jack, hello. Hello and goodbye, because we are just about finishing up, which is brilliant. So there we go, guys. Train Sim World 5 is here. So free download. If you own Train Sim World 1, 2, 3, 4, Train Sim World 5 is a free download, accessible on the 17th of September. All your existing Train Sim World content will port over to it, and you will get all the new features, including the conductor mode, route hopping, labels on the maps, and bits and bobs like that, and that's completely free of charge. If you want any of the new DLC, so if you want the West Coast Mainline DLC, or you want the new trains, the Pendolino, the 350, the Frankfurt Fulda route, then that is a paid DLC that you will need to pay for. If you don't own any Train Sim World games at all, you can still download Train Sim World 5 completely free of charge, but all you're going to get is the training centre and kind of a handful of trains just to try it out and test it, which I think is still pretty decent, and that'll be on the 17th of the 9th. Right, it's been a long stream, but it's been good. If you are still here, you must have enjoyed yourself, so please do hit the like button, consider subscribing. Thank you to everyone who's been watching on TikTok as well. I've got 4 diamonds. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to Google that, but thank you very much to whoever sent me 4 diamonds. I really appreciate that, but I don't know what it means. 4,141 total viewers on TikTok, which is pretty cool. I'm liking that a lot, so we might do this dual stream format again. We'll see how we get on. So yeah, always interested to hear your thoughts on the route down in the comments section below. I think it's pretty solid. I think both trains are pretty solid. There's a few bugs and bits that need ironing out, definitely. You know, there's conductor mode is very meh. But there we are. If you do want to follow my day-to-day life as a train driver and my antics, you can do on my social media channel. Twitter's probably the best one, or X, or whatever you want to call it. That's the one I post on more often than not. We've also got a Discord server. You're very welcome to head on over to there and join our Discord community. You'll find an invitation link down in the description below. Big thank you to Dovetail Games for giving me the keys free of charge and early access to the game to be able to showcase it all to you. If you want a deeper dive at the Class 390, the conductor modes, and the other bits and bobs, there are some videos on the channel that sort of explore the features and stuff a little bit more, so you go and check those out. That is it. Thank you very much. Spud, Wardle, Ben, Pie Train, David, GJ, Northern Princess, Jack, Peter, anybody else I've missed. There's too many of you to mention. Thank you very, very much for joining me, guys. I'm going to press that button there. That's going to start the music. I'm going straight to bed because I'm tired. Cheers, guys, and see you next time. Bye for now.